it's not like the Americans are not partaking in. In fact, they are one of the biggest players, if not second biggest. But not the Nigerian oil market.
There's enough oil. Is it enough oil produced in Nigeria or other countries in Africa that where they could be like a contender in this whole oil?
Yeah, I mean, Nigeria is the second largest oil producer in Africa behind Angola. So Angola is top when it comes to oil production. So Nigeria with oil is second, with gas is also second to Algeria. I don't think Nigerian oil situation is not. It's an open field. The French are there, the Americans are there, the Japanese are there, the Brits are there. So it's everybody's playground. So nothing.
I'll tell you guys one more thing. A lot of the freight trucks, they pretty much just use diesel. And I got a newsletter sent out, or I guess a notice sent out for a fuel surge update effective today.
Yeah,
and it lists the averages. Yeah, well, it lists the averages across the U.S. So it does it from East Coast, Central Atlantic, Lower Atlantic, but I'll just read the U.S. On March 2nd, the average was 3.89 a gallon. On the 9th of March, it was 4.85 a gallon. And on the 16th, it's $5.07 a gallon. So you can just see the dramatic rise.
Jack, I was just at the gas station earlier and it was $4.09 for regular gas. But I looked at diesel and it had diesel at, I think it was $5.69.
Yeah, that's atrocious. I mean, that's just... And that affects everyone. In the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin today, are usually gas per gallon about $2.65. Right now, $3.69. So it's, I don't know. I'm mind blown right now.
I was just looking at Guyana because Guyana has been in the news on and off. Squabbles over certain areas, but through Exxon, I didn't notice. They're putting out 900,000 barrels a day, and they're predicted to do, I think, 1.7 barrels per day by 2030. So, I don't know who they export to.
The United States. The United States of America. I mean, the field they were competing over was the field that the French and the Spanish. Was it Spanish? No, the Brits and the French competed for in the early 1700s, and that was the one with Venezuela. So it's not a field anyone can explore at the moment because it's right in the middle of jungle. So that for now is
Equavigo, I can't remember.
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah.
Yes. They were trying to say it's ours, Venezuela tried to claim it, but...
Technically it is Venezuela's. Technically.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, technically it's Venezuela's, so... But,
That's
depends on who's got the muscle in it, so...
Yeah. It's a line on the land. It's a border thing.
Yeah. And plus, most of that is underneath the ocean, so... Who's gonna draw the line in the ocean, so that's another thing.
Want you guys to also consider a lot of the LNG, liquefied natural gas companies in the United States, when prices surge this high, they just completely stop and like to wait out all their projects. So all the construction companies, all the steel companies, all the contractors that were working on building new pipes, refurbishing and replacing old pipes, all these projects, they just stop. I mean, if they were in the budgeting phase or the design phase, all that is just stopped, and then they put it off until years later. So these guys are all getting screwed right now.
Why do they stop?
The cost goes up so high that they know if they just wait it out, hey, we could just do this in 2028. We'll wait it out a year.
The problem with doing oil production or doing increasing production, from the oil company point of view, they don't know if the situation's going to end in a few weeks or how long. They need clarity to do a big investment. So they don't want to commit to invest hundreds of millions of dollars in an oil field if it's going to go out next week. So even if we don't think that's going to happen, they can't take the risk. So that's why. Yeah.
I mean, Nigeria's daily output is should be about 2.3 million, but realistically, it's less than that. It's about 1.5, 1.7. So, how much of that can be pumped and put on the market, which is essentially is already there. When I say already there, because let's not forget, most of this stuff is bought 6 months in advance. So you're not really going to redirect most of it. So
well, question two is that, and this is all hypothetical, if this war is drawn out longer, if we have more problems, stop and go, then will the kind of attention turn towards other alternative sources? Maybe the continent of Africa, because it sounds like I'm hearing at least 3 different places in Africa where oil is being produced: Algeria, Nigeria, and somewhere else. So while the Middle East is being rebuilt, right, and the war is simmering down, could there be a turn economically toward African oil to subsidize, or to not subsidize, to kind of like offset, supply as they're refixing and rebalancing the Middle East? And will that be a benefit to the continent of Africa and other African nations?
It depends how long this goes on, because their infrastructure is only built to produce so much, right? They can only increase their capacity so much. So, I mean, if they want to build an infrastructure to increase capacity, that also takes time. You won't see that immediately in Africa. Or, I mean, I'm thinking of Algeria specifically because I know that infrastructure a lot better, but if anyone else can speak to the rest of the African countries.
okay, so at the moment, the ones that are fully operational would be Nigeria, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Angola. Who else is there? Who else is oil?
Namibia.
Okay. Not so much. Namibia.
Burkina Faso, they allegedly have.
It's actually Senegal, but Senegal is not fully operational at the moment. So, as far as expanding production can go, highly unlikely, because just like Jack said, structurally it's restricted in terms of what they can do. And Nigeria, for the better part of what it does, is most of its production are piped through offshore rigs. The onshore market is suspended for now because obviously of environmental disasters and what have you. So where the most of the oil can come from is just the offshore. Gabon can, but that would have to be with the motivation of the French, because they
Not to cut you off, Syria said Libya in the chat. Did you list Libya?
Libya is there, but Libya, due to what the Americans did to them, they don't really pump out that much anymore. So again, that is a conflict zone. So it will help if they can, but at the moment, no. They don't have that kind of muscle. The Algerians are basically, they're gas. They're not oil. They're not oil per se. So.
Yeah, I mean, if I can't get filet mignon, sometimes a burger will do. If you can get the grill up, I'm gonna need a Big Mac. Can you give me a Big Mac until I get this filet mignon? Chef, cook it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but then, okay, I understand. you, then you're gonna have to pay Algerian prices. It's just ask the French. They did tell the French last year, yes, you might want this gas, but you're gonna have to pay a full market price. I will determine what the price is. So with the crisis in the Middle East, you know that's gonna be a premium. So it's a win-win for Algeria. For the world economy, it's going to be an added headache.
So apparently they're saying in 2022 gas was this high, if not higher.
Yeah, that was around COVID, yeah.
That was not around COVID.
That was the Russia-Ukraine deal?
Yeah, that was Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, they blew up that pipeline, that underwater gas pipeline.
Yeah. So I mean, that's another place where the oil can come from, Russia. That's they're sanctioned at the moment. So
I'm not if I just blanked out during that time. Just blanked out. Must have not been available at the time, but I don't remember, or maybe I just remember the last 2 years of Biden's administration. Because I remember gas prices not being much different than they were a month ago when Biden was in office. Am I wrong? Or did I blank out?
Oh, we're talking about gasoline?
Yeah.
Other reasons, but I mean, I'm right.
or you could have just. I mean, it was 4 years ago, so you probably were upset about it 4 years ago. I mean, people were upset about gas for the whole thing. I mean, it's possible. The difference is that it was able to come back down because critical infrastructure in the Middle East had been bombed. This is going to have longer term effects. Maybe it might not necessarily even gas might come down, but on other energy sources. That's why I like to let's come to those Biden. Okay, maybe, but it's going to be worse. I mean, I don't know if people saw the inflation numbers on wholesale today. It's worse than it was a year. That's before the effects of the war have kicked in yet. So, I'm do your thing. Y'all do your political gangbang. The funny thing about Biden is he had never produced more oil in history. It was such a weird presidency because he was so caricatured and he couldn't speak for himself and everything. He did a lot of stuff that people actually wanted on all sides and just never was able to make political hay out of it. So, there you go.
Well, I was just saying because Brandy and Dr. Joe B was in the chat telling me.
Oh, not the Tri-Doc.
Trying to tell them that it was up to $7. I definitely don't remember it being $7.
Well, not the average. The average wasn't $7.
California.
Yeah, the average wasn't 7. The average was probably 5. But again, alts are also relational. What were other prices? It was really high. So 2022 was actually very tough economic. Like the stuff was very expensive. Inflation reached 9%. Gas was really expensive. So you had to deal with issues from Russia, Ukraine, they blew up that pipeline. All that is true. But again, even before this, energy costs were going up, like for your home electricity. Right? It's actually a real disservice. I don't know all that. But the larger point is this: you can let people do the political thing. How about they're paying it now? What the prices were 4 years ago doesn't help me now. I used to have a 6-pack. Not helping me now. I used to be able to dunk. Can't do it now. Can't do it.
Well, also the difference here is that Ukraine, Russia, that was over there and them. Here, this is totally elective. We chose to do this.
And we're involved directly. Yeah, but again, them blowing up critical infrastructure all throughout the Gulf will have kinds of effects that Ukraine and Russia won't have. Long-standing effects. 2022 was rough, but
but by the time he left office, I think inflation was like 2 point something. Went down pretty fast, so it was clearly related to this thing. We're going in the other direction now. But it's classic Republican. They come in, things are good, or it's going in the right direction, and then they fuck it up, and the Democrats going to win, and the full effect of the Republican fuck is going to be felt. Democrats. We've now seen the cycle for longer than most people in here have been alive. It's really started with George H.W. Bush.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just wanted to add to my brother Graham here. In the pandemic, what happened with the script, I think it's flipped. In the pandemic, when everybody shut down, we had high supplies but low demand on oil because everybody was home. In 2022, when we opened up, we had high demand, and the factories, the oil refineries were not able to sustain or to meet that demand, the high demand right away when everything is opened up. This is the opposite, as Ben says. What happened is now the demand is high, but there's no supply at all. Right? We destroyed all the infrastructure, and this is, we talked about it in the past. This is going to go to the downstream product of oil, right? It's not just oil itself. Yes, oil takes gasoline and fertilizers, but there's other petrochemical products that get into oil. For example, your clothing, polyester. This is going to affect degradation. These are petrochemical products that everything that the dollar store or plastic stuff that we produce, that can impact it. So it has so many downstream products that it's going to impact this whole entire world. And this is, and as long as the Iranians keep and the Americans keep destroying these infrastructures, it's going to be a really, really long time to keep up with that demand. The supplies are not there. If we keep blowing Cargill and the Iranians keep blowing, the Omani ports or the Dubai's ports there, it's not good for a long term. So we're going to see a high inflation supply inflation for a while. That's what I just wanted to add to that point.
Serious? Have the Iranians even really crashed out completely, like with their backs against the wall? Because from what I remember, even with the attack on the Saudi oil infrastructure, they kind of denied it. I've seen them hit others, but they have like an opportunity to really shut down a lot of that, business.
Absolutely, yeah. Of course, they denied it, but we know they did it. Like, that's their job. But they say maybe it's not from Iran, maybe it came from the Houthis. But it's whether it's Iran or it's Philistine. It's really
But it's all just still sitting there. Like they have so much that they haven't even touched yet. Like if they really wanted to make a bigger impact, I think that's still ahead. Like they could really fuck shit up.
I heard this morning from a business analyst on a show this morning in Bloomberg, and he was saying there's a disconnect between the current oil prices and the future market that we have right now on paper versus what's actually been sold physically. When I heard this morning, I hope I can find that clip, that the Omani and the Dubai blend of oil was going to Singapore and India for $170 a barrel. And we're pricing it at $100. So what he was saying is that the huge disconnect between the physical commodity that's actually getting sold into the market for Asia because of so much high demand that they just want any barrel out, versus what the stock market is saying. So maybe this is why everybody's now panicking because they're saying, there's so much spread. We need to close that spread between the physical market and the future market. The stock market. I'll try to find that clip.
Yeah, I saw that last night. Sky high prices for that Oman oil. It's crazy.
Good So the average price under Biden in 2022 when it rose to the highest was about 350 to 360. So you can compare that with what you're seeing now and make sense of it, if it makes sense. When I was talking about Nigeria, he forgot to add one thing about Nigeria's oil. Nigeria has borrowed so much money right now, they're paying back in oil. So right now, even in the next couple of years, I don't think anybody can do anything because the creditors are just spooning all the oil they can spoon and having to do at it. So I don't know how you're going to increase productivity there if you try hard. And I think Senegal is more gas than oil, if I remember. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they do more gas than oil. And again, even with them, it's still the same thing. They've already signed like a couple of contracts for, I think they signed one with Germany for like 5 years last year or so. So to like resign something else, it's not going to be now. It's going to be like something futuristic. So yeah, I don't see anybody ramping up so much, except you want to go and invest so much again. But then you have to prospect first before you start to investing, what do you call it, the infrastructure and all the type of. I'm not an oil expert, but that's just a little bit. Thank you.
I mean, there are already fields found, but then again, to sort of bring those fields to production is going to take some massive investments, which at the moment we don't have. So nobody wants to do such a silly project at this point in time. So we've not really thought this one through.
You guys still seeing Netanyahu because we don't know where he is. He released the
Stop it!
I'm just asking. Because how is it?
Unfortunately, he's alive and well.
Yeah, Huckabee met up with him yesterday. Did you see that video?
Yeah.
Nah, I wasn't thinking of that.
I was saying this last week. They shot me down. I will never say it again. I'm sure if the man is dead, they're definitely gonna let us know that. I don't think they would hide it.
Hey, Divine, have we seen him yet?
Everybody's saying they've seen him. He's done interviews. He's around. As far as I know.
I haven't seen him.
Yeah,
I haven't seen him.
him either because I'm sitting in the U.S. But that's a
Crazy.
I mean, I haven't seen him live. Yeah. No, you guys have seen recordings.
Oh, man.
Don't do it. I'm hearing that he got 6 fingers. I'm hearing all kinds of crazy shit.
But the internet is just bored right now. They're putting everything's AI. It's wishful thinking or it's just stupidity. I don't know which of it.
No, I got all of that, but what I'm saying is we have not seen him live. We just haven't.
You've seen him live in your life.
Every time he goes live, mostly I see him. Yeah, I've seen that.
Or live on video.
Okay. So we're not gonna play those games.
No, because we could just
Listen. I didn't say anything about AI, sir. You said something about AI. I operate with cognitive agility, sir. I promise you, I know what I'm looking at. I'm highly tuned in, bro. I ain't the one to be having them dumbass arguments with about AI, and it could be all. I'm not going there.
So why are you asking if you've seen him live?
Anyway, first of all, I was directed at my brother, Divine. He and I are looking for him. It was not directed at you. The room knows the background already. So you came late to the party, so just stay in your lane. Thank you.
Real quick. He put up a video showing his 5 fingers. If you Google it, so he's responding to the trolls that he's alive and well. It's on YouTube. I don't think he's dead.
That's YouTube.
Oh shit! Here you go. Oh god.
Just so that you guys know,
side, they got it on smash. They running that country on. They got that country on smash right now. I'm telling you. Yeah, you talk to the people that's on the ground though, it's a different conversation. I promise you.
Have you guys heard about Mexico? Well, Cuba in the dark right now. You guys heard about that? Mexico sent a couple other ships there despite Trump's blockade or anything like that.
To let it in the dark?
No, they sent some. I think a couple ships are still in Instagram posts about that.
I'm gonna go there right now. What part of the country do the ships come in? I'm gonna use my satellite imagery. Yo, come on, I wanna use this app. I'm dead ass. Well, just tell me where to go, y'all. I'm gonna
I have no idea. I just saw the.
I'm gonna look at the tankers down here around Cuba. I'll be back. I'll be back. I got you.
Yeah, no, I'm just asking if you guys know about this or anything like that. I just seen a post that President Sheinbaum sending an oil tanker to Cuba because the electrical grid is done. It's completely off.
Yeah, I haven't heard. I'm not saying that it wasn't discussed in here, but we definitely discussed, the lights going out. I saw something about humanitarian aid. I also saw something about the government is willing for people from the diaspora to invest and to help. I don't know if that took place yet. I don't know if people will get in trouble, especially if you're a Cuban American or descendant of those who left and you wanna help. I don't know if they're gonna have Secret Service knocking at your door. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, so what I heard about that this morning was that they were going to start allowing, I think it's part of the deal they want to make. So they're going to start allowing Cubans in diaspora invest in Cuba.
Oh, what they were trying to do under the Obama administration?
I'm not sure if it's the same thing. I'm not sure if it's the same thing, but that's part of the agreements they're trying to make.
Say it again, Pat.
Yeah, they were trying to do that under the Obama administration. They were trying to slowly open it back up. This is Cuba. This is not America. It's not us. This is Cuba that's offering, right? Hello? Who just spoke?
Serious.
Myself,
That's Cuba that's offering that, right? Oh, that's
Yeah, it was me. I think it's Cuba. A part of the deals they are offering now that they will allow that to happen. Yeah.
Yo, so what we doing per my PTO? Y'all wanna go south? Y'all wanna go to the west with I can increase the size?
Just zoom out. The island's not that big. Just zoom out on the island and see what's going on around.
Nah, I wanna see around the ports how many ships are down there. I'm gonna put like all those little green dots that you see, those are actual ships. I'm gonna go in and see what type of ships they are. But there's some oil joints that y'all just mentioned, we should be able to see that. I'll be back, I'm gonna zoom in. I don't know what side they get there, but I'll do that homework right now.
Speaking of Mexico, the U.S. government just awarded a company called Fisher Gravel and Sand, or Fisher Sand and Gravel, another $1.12 billion to build the border wall. And I think we gave them 300 something million last year. And what this company, one of the things they're doing is they're building in the Rio Grande River. They're going to put a wall of steel buoys in the Rio Grande River to stop people from swimming over. So they,
understanding on the buoys. They put steel butt cheeks to keep you from the butt.
that buoy.
movies.
A buoy.
Say it again.
And have a blessed day, everybody. Okay.
I'll attribute that. Between you and Rainbow, I'm over here going fucking crazy. What's happening?
It sounded like you said boobies. You
That's the divine, and we're gonna give you top energy, cause this whole explaining and wanting to see the satellites is just like what? He likes to ramble. I like ramble.
It'll make sense to you one day, Brooklyn. But don't worry, you'll get there. Just for right now, just stay where you are.
Not too much on tech toys.
Just relax. If you pay attention, you'll learn some things. I promise you. Just relax. Yeah. He says the weed. Nah, it's just like, you know what it is? I like unpacking things in real time. Like I'm listening to a lot of people.
Hey, did you see the back channel? You got.
Dang, some people are just like, just so stuck. Like, let's synthesize in real time.
Since we got some in-between time.
You can call me out. You gotta introduce what you were trying to get from me.
I did introduce it already earlier. Because this is the intersection of gender wars and politics.
Lord Jesus, you know she's trying to bring some gender to the This is just a quick analysis of commercial.
Yeah, you're not slick, Brooklyn. Go for it.
It is literally the intersection between politics and gender wars. These people in the Trump hemisphere are losing their fucking minds. They're literally trying to charge the OnlyFans models 50% of their income in Florida. What kind of shit is that?
I'm gonna go ahead and play this for him real quick. Controversial Florida Republican running to replace Republican Governor Ron DeSantis is making headlines, denouncing aid to Israel, supporting a moratorium on immigration, and now proposing a 50% sin tax for Florida content creators on OnlyFans, a subscription-based site known for its explicit content. Julia Sullivan is out front.
OnlyFans has made some women millionaires.
I have just hit $100 million.
$100 million. Whilst in Florida, a Republican candidate for governor wants to bring in what he calls a 50% sin tax on whatever you so-called earn and pay that online degeneracy platform. Now, political targets, OnlyFans women are speaking out.
Before you want to tax thousands of women just because we actually took this into our own hands, start taxing the companies that are flooding into here. A Florida politician trying to start being with me for fun.
So I'm driving across the Sunshine State to meet the OnlyFans creators and the candidate for governor. We're in the middle of a very public debate about the adult entertainment industry.
I don't want to catfish any of you, even though I was on Tinder last week. And I told you, I said, I want to meet young female voters where they are.
James Fishback wants to be the next governor of Florida. Today he's running the Republican primary against Trump-endorsed and heavy favorite Congressman Byron Donalds. Do you think, for the voters of Florida, that OnlyFans is really a major issue?
We don't want our women in Florida to feel as if the only way they can make a living is by selling nude images or videos on the internet to complete strangers. And the men who spend their money, their time, their resources, I'm not letting them off the hook either. I think they are just as complicit by handing over money to these nude images. My view is really simple. If OnlyFans did not in Florida, we would be better off for it. I will not tolerate cultural filth and moral degeneracy in my state.
OnlyFans is an online subscription platform for creators, but it's especially popular for women who make pornographic content like Anya Lacey.
You guys are gonna get kicked out of this one. Make America great again.
Anya is 20 years old and calls herself a red-blooded conservative. How quickly did your OnlyFans grow?
Oh, it was pretty big. Even at first,
horrible. Masculinity is not toxic. There's nothing toxic about hanging out with your guy friends. Nothing toxic about watching football. What's toxic is telling young men that they are responsible for the sins and the ills of society.
Fishback has also gained support from influencers in the online manosphere like Sneeko and Nick Fuentes, figures known for anti-Semitism and misogyny. One of the world's most famous OnlyFans creators also lives in Florida. You're gonna stay in Florida, girl.
We'll see if James Fishback becomes governor. Might push me out.
Sophie Ray has been singled out by Fishback, who says she would owe $42 million if he becomes governor.
And so there is that sort of thriving space online that actively despises women, right? I mean, what do you have to say about toxic masculinity?
It's sad that word just sends chills down my spine, if I'm being honest. I think it's the same kind of about weaponizing competence. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason to be acting like this. We are all adults at the end of the day, and I think that there are bigger problems in this world that we need to be focused on instead of trying to regulate women's bodies.
OnlyFans, it's freedom of speech though, right? I mean, if you want to go on there and you want to express yourself in this way, make money this way,
It's not an argument on what's not our first speech, it's an argument about what kind of society we want to live in. Sophie Ray could be doing so much more.
actually, both Anya and Sophie say the platform has done a lot for them. It's helped make their lives better.
It just has created so many opportunities for me. I'm so thankful to even be here. It helped me build a business.
Jerry, this is all fascinating. You also, though, as part of your reporting, spoke to young men I know who do support Fishback. Okay, so what did they tell you?
Yeah, look, I mean, what Fishback is doing very effectively is tapping into this online space, manosphere, whatever you want to call it, but basically where young men are online. And look, he talks a lot about the economy, he talks a lot about affordability issues, and they're the issues we heard people talking about. But more broadly, how he's getting attention, how he is communicating this, is through issues like this so-called OnlyFans syntax. And from sort of following this space quite closely, that's something that we've heard, this idea, this fascination with OnlyFans girls and sort of coming after them, has been something we've seen developing in this space from Tucker Carlson daughters in the last couple of months. Also, finally, I should mention that he is very critical of Israel, and again, that is something that we're seeing with younger people, especially under 30 in the online space, that is resonating with them as well.
Yeah, I'm seeing that in some of the polling. All right, thank you very much, Tony. And Tony's full story is streaming online. You can find it.
You see that shit? How dangerous them motherfuckers are? I told y'all. Y'all wasn't listening to me. I told y'all that the man is filled with the devil. And no, everybody was like, oh, really? You did the word, No, they are the devil.
This has an opportunity to produce more women millionaires than men are comfortable with.
And they hate it. They want us
That's
to
what
be.
that does.
They want us to be in the kingdom.
She made $100 million off of fucking OnlyFans.
$100 million. That's crazy.
These sales are ridiculous. They are out there spending their whole checks on this shit.
They're coming in
Business.
It is independence. Women will gain financial independence. Imagine that. Financial independence. And these men can't, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because then all of a sudden it'll be like, it'll be techniques. That's very
Separate from all of these arguments, what about just the free market? What about just freedom? What about all of that? So forget about, oh my God, women are making more money and men are scared about it. All that doesn't matter. What about the basic shit of the free market, letting people do what they want to do? Fucking freedom. What about...
It's not fair because titties are worth more than penises.
Titties are not worth more than penises. But
Come on now.
I will say this, what they're facing right now is what we face as the argument like this, but what we face with the cannabis market in California. We are heavily taxed. We're taxed pretty much by Patty, come on, man, just a second. We are taxed a lot more than all the other industries by far. Like, that's just the numbers, right?
April. That is crazy as hell. Listen, that's dumb. That's really dumb. Listen, these men should be paying, or they should pay more. The hell with it.
Well, when they charge the men more.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Their asses will pay to watch it, so come on in here and pay.
Like, they're not considering the pay gap. Of course, women get paid less anyway in the corporate world for the most part. So why the fuck they gotta pay more to show their titties when the men ain't gotta pay nothing to watch them?
I agree.
You gotta call it what it is. This is nothing but gorilla pimping. This is literally telling a woman either get down and lay down, give up that pocketbook, or get off my street.
This government gorilla pimping.
It's government gorilla pimping. It's something that should be frowned upon to imagine that the government will stand in the way of women making their own way.
The phrase I like the most, and I think we need to start utilizing it towards MAGA, because I really like this phrase that our call that mission was weaponized incompetence. I really like that phrase. I think that explains MAGA.
Wait.
I
Did you just call Uncle Sam? Did you just call Uncle Sam a pimp?
He's a pimp. He's been pimping. He's been digging in your pockets for a long time.
Yes.
Oh, goddamn. So now you want to be big pimping.
Okay, this is just an example of big government and also the Christian right trying to moralize and telling us what we should do behind our closed doors. This is no different than what they've done and what they've wanted for a decade. That's all it is. It's big government, it's anti-freedom, and it's a police morals on everybody.
I'm still confused how y'all tried to say OnlyFans is tax and OnlyFans, that syntax is the same as a fucking marijuana tax.
This is me and this not y'all, because they're disproportionately taxed. They're proposing a disproportionate tax for this because of the type of industry. We're disproportionately taxed because of the type of industry. That's all.
But imagine if they
So if you're talking about marijuana, wouldn't that be more on like, what is the tax look around healthcare? Or like, so people are using, they're saying marijuana can be used medically, right? So what is the taxes around marijuana versus other drugs when it comes to like
It's not even close to that. It's like a 50% increase. Like we have to pay a state tax, we have to pay a local tax, and then we have to pay a combined tax. Like it's ridiculous. Like it's
Right, but that's different. One second, please. That's different. The marijuana thing is different because there's also different tax for medical versus whatever. But separately from that, with the actual OnlyFans, how are they going to differentiate between somebody literally cooking and doing an OnlyFans or a celebrity like actor doing an OnlyFans and just talking to somebody actually showing their tits or their dick or whatever it is? Are they going to... Right, this is my point. So what are they going to have? So they're just going to do it across the board, and that's supposed to be taxable 50% for somebody cooking. Think about how egregious that is as a tax on somebody doing what, in 2026, that's what people want to see. Even if it's not fucking tits and ass, they want to see that. So what are they going to eventually have people monitoring? Oh, once you show a tit, the tax goes up? Like, how does that all work? This is just fucking the Christian right policing fucking everything.
I got a question. How did Notorious get here? He supposed to be blocked.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
How did Notorious get in here?
No idea.
Nobody blocked them.
Honestly, the tape you just made completely threw a wrench in the whole argument because it's supposed to be a syntax. So this basically, you just exposed the fact that this is an incel belief system that is posing that everything on OnlyFans is a bad negative. Everything on OnlyFans needs to be completely 90% of OnlyFans is
emphasize women. It's men on there with
OnlyFans is women showing titties. Like, that's 90% of it.
We don't know that.
I know that.
That's not.
Oh, shit. I didn't know you had You gotta show up and active account, don't you?
No, that's not true. It's dick content on there. I know a guy that has an OnlyFans that he does guns. Like, it's a lot of people that do different shit, but he only focuses on women. That's the weird part about it.
The only time I had OnlyFans, I was watching Kev, the Bandman, do credit shit.
Hey, yo.
Literally. No, it's credit. They was doing credit. There was some credit hacks. It wasn't weird sexual shit. But I think most of the OnlyFans content, when you scroll through there, is going to be sexualized. Like, y'all know that. Like, let's not. Just like us, for example, it's typically medical recreational. Nigga, 95% of it is fucking recreational. Medical makes up like.
I don't have an issue that they tax that. I don't have an issue they tax cigarettes. I don't have an issue they tax alcohol. I don't care if they tax.
They don't. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Alcohol and cigarettes are taxed like 80% less. Look it up. 80% less.
You're currently talking about taxing a person for leisure. Entertainment.
Well, let's say I wanted to do a weather show, right? And I paid a beautiful woman to do the weather, and she has clothes on, and the other person is where she's butt naked. Okay? Am I going to be taxed the same, or is one of those girls going to get taxed different?
It's a titty tax.
It's a titty tax.
A titty tax is fucked up. That's all the shit that they do. And not to say that he's gonna win. He's not gonna win the governor of Florida. I already know that. But it's just the main idea. Like the whole idea that these men have towards us women. Like, where do we have a dig to them? We never did nothing. And I don't appreciate it. And this is why.
Brooklyn, that's what I believe.
I'm not virtue signaling.
Oh, I say he is. I believe the guy that's proposing this is virtue signaling.
Can somebody offer a tax incentive or tax break for entrepreneurs? Like if they're gonna do a titty tax? No. Come on, man.
You come on the ramble, please.
We're such fucking hypocrites in this country because we are totally fine with poly markets, gambling, sports betting, fucking casinos, all that fucking shit.
Because we were talking about that the other day. We're not.
We're not hypocrites?
We're not okay with that stuff.
No, America is hypocrites. That's the point. Because we're fine having that out and taxing it or not taxing it, whatever. But then women want to do something on OnlyFans and people are losing their shit.
I think what happens is, right, like when there's a stigma attached to it, that's when they want to tax it and demonize it, virtue signal and everything else, right? But once it's been here for a while and it becomes culturally acceptable, then we don't look at it in that light. Like alcohol faced that problem. Tobacco faced that at one point. And then after a while we accepted it. Strip clubs had that impact at one point. Now it's socially acceptable. It's no big deal. Go have a drink, go have an afternoon meal at the table. So I think right now they're going through their ritual of being accepted, and after a while it won't even be something that's a talking point. It'll just be a part of the culture and normalize at some point.
It's an attack on freedom.
I agree with you, brother. I agree with you.
But I thought the Republicans were against big government. What's going on?
Oh my God, you have the room with this weirdo guy who calls black people house niggas in a proposal that's never going to become law because he's never going to become the nominee, so he's never going to become governor. Are y'all really going deep on this one? Is his fish bag number in? So it's not going to happen, y'all. It's not going to happen.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I'm just against titty tax. That's all I'm saying.
It's not DeSantis.
I'm just against titty tax. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, this is America. I mean, it was founded by Puritans. We've had excise tax. We've had blue laws. We used to have laws in states where you couldn't go to the circus on Sunday. I mean, this is America.
Yeah, like for a certain time, like that.
Yeah. there's some states. Yeah, I was gonna say some states you can't even have private alcohol sellers. They have state-owned stores.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up under blue laws, and the stores weren't even open on Sunday. Like stores.
Man, I hear you on the This Is America, but are you pro titty tax?
I could be. It depends on where the money is sent. Yeah, and it also depends on the threshold. So if somebody is making $50,000 doing that, I would be against that. If that lady makes $100 million, I have no issue with her paying 30-40%. None at all. Zero. So I'm totally fine with that.
Because I'm just looking at this so far, I don't feel like anybody sees disproportionate tax just because of the industry. Now, when you start talking about profit margins and different levels, like that's the same as any other industry. Okay, the higher up you go, you're supposed to contribute more. You know that big beautiful bill offsets that, but whatever. I agree with you on that level for sure. I only got 100 million for showing my titties.
I want the Manosphere podcasters to be taxed at that level then.
Now this would be higher on my list. I mean, I would get rid of the taxes whereby, the famous Warren Buffett tax where he pays a lower percent than his secretary. I think those are more important. But I don't have an issue. I mean, another way you could do it, if we're having this conversation, another way one could do it would be instead of a yearly tax rate, for every X amount you make, you just do a one-time flat thing. So if you make $50 million, every time you make $50 million, you do, I don't know, 3 million, $3 million. I don't know, there's ways to do things. I mean, we have to fund the society. One can't make endless amounts of money and not contribute to the things that are allowing the person to make endless amounts of money. It's got to be funded something one way or another. So, but the OnlyFans thing is just him virtue signaling for his post. He's using his run to build a platform. His post-run podcast.
I literally said that. I agree to 100%. He's virtually signaling, brother. He is.
Yeah. I don't know if you can virtue signal a group or some nonsense, but I know what you mean. I mean, these are really horrific people. But the tax issue is a problem in America because Americans want stuff they don't want to pay for. So
I don't know, the tax system right now is really rigged, especially with the bill. It's already rigged with the tax act, the TCJA Act. If you understand that they fucking rigged the living shit out of it, they did it even further, made it indefinite with the big beautiful bill. Like they are protecting the upper 1% and anyone that is operating the business benefits so much more than an average working person. It's ridiculous. Not even fucking close.
I think he's maybe really about $25 million campaign contribution away from not talking about that problem anymore. I mean, this sin tax, right? That's a lot of money being made, and he's not getting any campaign contributions from all these newly found millionaires. I mean, someone made 50 million or something like that. You say, hey, I'm gonna give you 5 million, and let's not talk about this no more. I bet you that fucking shut up.
I'm sure he's fine with crypto.
Just invest in the crypto. that's what we get to. They said that initially he was telling everyone that they were credited with getting 2.2 million people to self-report, but a new document being shared internally within the DHS and reviewed by CNN shows that the program has only helped 72,000 people leave as of this point.
And this is the problem with this lying-ass administration. They never tell the truth about shit.
It's a big difference, 72,000 versus 2.2 million.
Well, but still, it's like, it's a really big number. 72,000, that's close to a million, but a million is close to 2.2 million. So basically, it was
2.2, so go ahead and round it off to 2.2.
Yeah, you can round it up. Oh, yeah. I like to round my bank account up to that shit.
I'm gonna round my bank account from 72,000 up to 2.2. That's what we're doing. You can never believe shit this administration says, man. Like, it's incredible.
He seriously, and I don't mean this in a bad way, okay? Because when I used to have to go draw blood in nursing homes, all right? These old men are sitting around watching the news and set on one channel. They all arguing about something, and somebody did something, and this is what he sounds when he starts talking. It's exactly what he sounds like. Sorry.
And on top of that, to make it even funnier, they said the majority who signed up, the 72,000, were already in immigration and customs enforcement.
Of course they were. Remember giving out and going to courthouses and grabbing women and shit?
Right. The following April, so they're already in detention, so they decide to take work to get the money. Like,
I'm already getting the border work all over.
Let me just get my brain on the way out.
Go, just check the dirt off my feet from this place. I do find it funny that DHS has the actual numbers because I really don't expect them to. I think there's some people still working within the system. Like, let me put the real deal out here.
I would say that program wasn't a success.
I know some people who are actual Americans who would like to be paid to leave this bitch.
Peoria said the 2.19 million are invisible because they changed their mind about having.
What?
So he's counting the people that didn't come. That's MAGA math for your ass right there. That's a MAGA math in real time.
So hey, those 2.1 or 2.2 million people that were going to come here and not to come here.
Right.
Victoria.
Like you gotta act like you were coming and then they'll mail you a check.
Set your toe across and so they wrote your name down. Why can't we go down to the border and jump back and forth?
I'm about to do that. I'm about the border and I'm just to get a bag. Let's do it.
Let's go.
I got a question. Has anybody, I'm sure the California people have, maybe some others, has anybody actually crossed the border before, the southern border? Not Tijuana one, but the Texas one.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, not Tijuana.
I've never done it. I've done the Tijuana thing, but I think it would be kind of interesting to see it. Trent's like, oh, those are the border dogs the other day. And I was kind of like,
no, that's a type
border
of
dogs. Like, what's going on down there? Oh, I thought he was at the border.
No, it's a breed.
Oh.
Are you talking about border collies or dogs that are used in the winter? What the hell? Trent, so confusion.
I was confused. Trent just randomly talks about, like, dogs by breed.
They were barking in the background.
Yeah.
For reference to by breed. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That actually makes more sense, because I was like, why would his backyard, why would you see the, I guess you could.
Well, but he said these men have showed up in his front yard, people who are crossing the border. Like, does he live, is his backyard like a border?
I think it's really close. Don't worry, you'll be here soon.
No, it's close. It's close, but it's not in his backyard. It's probably maybe a 2-minute car drive from his home.
That can still be really cool.
House, TT?
She got a room.
I have not
sense. Like a lot.
No,
Don't you think that Trump has desensitized us to lies now, though?
we just laugh at it. I used to get upset. Now I have no emotional attachment. Right? Like, it's expected. It's the baseline. If he tells the truth, he's deviating from the baseline at this point. It used to be, I would think that for the most part, it would be accurate and then he would exaggerate here and there. Now I realize lying is actually the baseline that shows just a deviation. So,
Well, now, he used to talk about women being trafficked and how he got really specific about the duct tape over their mouth, and I'm like, now that we've seen some of the files that Bane doesn't like to talk about, and I don't want to start a conversation, I'm like, he has experience in this shit. Not that, when he talks specifically about things and gets down to the nitty gritty, it's because his ass has been involved in it.
do you guys think we should supplement the TSA workers so that they're getting paid and showing up? Since we are worried about activating
No, do not. Like, I think the airlines should actually take over TSA and they should have to pay for it. Fuck it.
But don't you think it's dangerous if we have 40% of the TSA workers not showing up for it?
Listen.
Worried about themselves being activated.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, the ones who are working don't give a fuck either. They are going to work, working with, how motivated do you think you would be doing this shit, which is, by all of everything I've ever paid, my husband currently is working for no pay. But nobody likes the job. Nobody likes TSA agents, and nobody likes being a TSA agent. Okay, it's not a happy-go-lucky thing. Oh shit.
I'm not worried because right now, like, Iran has the moral upper hand. Like, for them to activate sleeper agents would just be like, that would be really bad for them. And I don't think they do.
Some of them might operate at happens. They might be like, I'm gonna do this for my country. I'm gonna sacrifice myself for my country. Right? So it might not necessarily have to be authorized. I'm not sure like the events that occurred here were necessarily authorized by Iran. I think they were acting on their behalf or out of their passion for Iran. That doesn't mean that they authorized stuff. I hear you, Rodney, that could be a long move. But I'm just saying, let's say it is a long move. Whatever it is, I say not have the TSA agents in place right now in a volatile situation. It's fucking dangerous.
It's very dangerous. Gemini, 300 have quit, probably more than 300 have quit, or are working another job when they're off. Like, my husband is off 2 weeks at a time. He's, of course, not working another job during that time. But people are quitting because they can't afford, like, I want to say like a regular TSA agent who's not a supervisor or not a lead, maybe might make $50 grand a year. That's not a lot of money. If you have a family, if you're one person, yeah, but if you have a family. This is crazy, and they just did this to government workers. What was it, before Christmas or around Christmas? I forget. The shit all runs together, right? These people are just now probably getting steady from the last time this happened, and now it's happening again. I think that our representatives should be taxed 50% when they do this shit. When they have down the government, that's them not doing their job when they shut it down. And I don't think they care if TSA is dismantled. I really don't, because they're crazy. I don't think the Republicans care about TSA or Homeland Security being anything viable at this point. I don't see them caring about it. Because we just got through the longest shutdown, and now here comes this one. It's crazy, and it's not just TSA. It's the Coast Guard, which we know they interdict drugs on our waters. FEMA, okay, I think FEMA's budget has been railroaded for ICE for a long time now anyway. Who else is it? I thought I read that there was some Secret Service affected, but I'm not sure if that's the case or not. TSAs that's more being paid, they're fully on staff, that these things will be, I don't see airplanes being high. I mean, I could be wrong. I see more,
I'm sorry.
I see more stuff like what happened recently, like in different locations around the U.S.
The reason why I say anything is I had a friend that just flew in and I just dropped him back off at the airport. The lines at the fucking LAX right now, they're usually out the door, but they're out the door around the corner blocking traffic. Shit is fucking cool.
It is, and it's going to take people getting tired of it. There were some airline corporate, I guess the corporate heads were telling Trump, you got to stop this, you got to do something because it's messing with the weather, like the bad weather on the East Coast, plus the TSA problem, the tangle. It's not going to get better. Like the people, I just missed it. Thank the Lord, I missed it when we left Anchorage to Virginia. We just missed the guess by like a week or two.
You see it in real time, April, the LAX looks insane right now. Like seriously.
Oh, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does, and I know I read that TSA was talking about closing some lanes, or even not even having service at some of the smaller airports. So I don't even know how people are going to be affected because they're going to have to shut lines down in order to service what's out there with the staff that they have. They don't have enough staff.
Boston Logan Airport is introducing an app that allows people to check in to see how long the TSA lines are so they can prepare to get to the airport hours before their flight because it's such.
They need that here, Spirit, because right now, if you get like normally you need an hour to 2 hour on international or on a national or before your flight, right? And if you think you can just show up right now, a couple hours before your flight, you're not making that motherfucking flight. There ain't no fucking way.
And they already put out show up 4 hours before your flight.
What do you say?
They already put out show up 4 hours before your flight.
I don't know if that's gonna be enough right now, buddy. I'm serious. I don't know if that's gonna be enough right now.
I dropped my daughter off 4 hours before her flight. We're in Atlanta. That's supposed to be the busiest airport in the United States.
Yeah. I'm telling you right now, in LA, it's fucking insane. It's crazy. I don't see how that's not on the news yet.
Yeah, and I dropped her off within the spring break, so.
travel anxieties grow observed at weeks. This is just the start. Wow. Interesting.
online if you're interested.
No.
Yeah.
Not going to go ahead, of course.
Alright, this will be super quick. So on the airport closures, with more than 30% of TSA workers absent from work, as we know, there are long lines. This may force the closure of small U.S. airports, so that may be happening soon. I don't know what qualifies as small, but at least not the international airports, one would say, but who knows. Also, the Trump's January 6 rally firm, the Trump administration has bypassed regular procedures to award more than $13 million in contracts to the company that helped organize President Trump's rally on January 6, creating hidden business opportunities that only one firm could win. So there's that. I talked about before the Voice of America, the federal judge nullified nearly all actions that the Trump administration took to shutter the Voice of America and ordered more than 1,000 full-time journalists and support staff at the news group to return to work by March 23rd and to resume broadcasting operations. That's Carrie Lake's baby, Carrie Lake from Arizona, the MAGA person. And then USPS funding. The Postmaster General said at a hearing that the U.S. Postal Service would be out of cash in less than 12 months unless Congress allows it to borrow more and charge more for postage. And that's tonight's news. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis.
You're welcome. Anything to distract me from the regular work, I appreciate it.
That's what I'm in the middle of doing. The only good thing is the boss lets me be on whatever app I want to be whenever I want to be. I don't think I can be fired.
Yeah, same.
And we all talked about how Iran might start letting ships through, but only if they use Chinese currency.
Come on.
Yeah, I think we talked about that like 2 days ago.
Yeah, a couple days ago.
That'd be a huge shift in the world.
I think they already did it with somebody. I forget who it was. I think they did it with somebody that paid them one already. I think that was like yesterday or the day before. That they negotiated with the this, like the negligence, not like that. Q, who's the biggest Uncle Tom panel ever? Please clarify that in the chat, sir. I like to know. No, let them clarify. I need clarity. I'm not the sharpest.
So this is from the New York Times quarterly separate. You can now make on Kalshi and Play Market are offering bets on reality television shows. For example, the 50th season of Survivor, which is currently airing, but filmed last year. The Bachelorette and Top Chef as well. Of course, it's crazy.
Leaks on that, people.
Yeah, of course. Yes. I'm just saying. Reporting it is.
So it is scripted? It is scripted.
Very little on that.
No, that's it. I'm just looking at the article. I mean, they all have
the temperature. You know that you get better with the temperature weather forecast.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's already done. I mean, yes, they have non-disclosure agreements that they have to sign, but at the same time, you know, you never know when something could get leaked.
It gets leaked all the time. I know. It gets leaked all the time. Wait a minute, Ben Shapiro crashed out on Joe Kent for calling out Trump for attacking Iran for no real reason. Did he? Hey, Big, if you have that clip, find it. I'll play it on the stage. I'd like to listen to that. Right, listen to Trump's crash out on Joe yesterday.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
He was never good at security. That's why I hired him to be the lead intel officer. Yeah. Okay, that's a 15-minute clip, brother. Is there a certain part you want me to play?
Yeah, I can't listen to 15 minutes on Ben Shapiro.
Yeah. I appreciate the link, though. I just want to know which portion would you like me to share? Minutes, 30 seconds. Okay, gotcha.
When you're gonna do it, I'm just gonna come in with a kind of quirky stat. Then you're gonna be very
Get
better.
the stat, get the stat, then I'll go for it after you're done.
Okay. So there was data put out there by that's saying that more people are living alone, and these are the locations where most people are living alone. So I just wanted to give you the information. The top 10 cities that has the highest share of solo living households are St. Louis, Atlanta, D.C., Cleveland, Cincinnati, Birmingham, Alabama, Alexandria, Virginia, Pittsburgh, New Orleans, and Baltimore.
You know why LA's not on that list?
Well, the lowest share, by the way, is the top 10, except one of them, which is Laredo, Texas. The top 10 are in California.
Because people can't afford it. You have to have roommates. A lot of people cannot afford to have their own place, so we're never going to be
So just to be clear, but these aren't it's Fontana, it's Moreno Valley, Santa Ana, Oxnard, Elk Grove, which is Sacramento.
Yeah, that sounds
area.
right.
That's a nice Ontario, Chula Vista, Fremont, and Santa Clarita.
Santa Clarita is actually one of the 10 most desired cities to live in the list, like multiple times in the last couple of years.
that I made yesterday, which is Trump does have his own agency. And so Joe Kent looking for an offering for MAGA and, the United States, it's easy to say, oh, Israel pushes them to war. But if you have, if you're a big bad America and you're supposed to have your own, intelligence, your own administration advising you on all this stuff, you should be able to make your own decisions. You shouldn't be pushed into a war because of a political action committee, or even another can make your own decisions, and you have to live and die by those decisions. That's right. But also Shapiro's a fucking warmonger and a violent fucking asshole.
And he also sounds like a 60s news announcer when he speaks like, see, the way Trump's his own guy, see? But look.
And he's at like 1.5 on the podcast.
No, he's at 1.92.
I can't fucking listen to 2 seconds of that guy.
Yeah, he's at 1.9.
He's a fucking prick. But that's the divide in the MAGA as well. It's like the Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, now Joe Kent side of things. Then you have the Mike Huckabee, Lindsey Graham, Trump.
And Joe Kent had damage though. I don't think they're going to be able to, they're trying to downplay it and demonize him and, make it sound like he was just disgruntled and, disloyal. However, I think he made very, very valid points and that it actually hurt the credibility of Trump's reason for going to this war. I think people are starting to look at it from a different lens, and that's going to hurt the MAGA campaign, and especially with the midterms looming. I think that's going to play a role. I don't think there's any way around that, and they know it's what they're doing damage control.
I mean, bad for Trump, for sure. But this is what happens when in your administration you only have, bootlickers and you only have people who have zero experience with this kind of stuff, like a Stephen Wickoff and Jared Kushner. I mean, these are serious jobs, and the idea of having a cabinet to be able to offer, different opinions and be able to push back instead of, bootlicking for Trump and saying whatever, you think he wants to hear. Then we get into a situation like this.
Just real quick, I don't know if you guys are, I don't know if anybody would know. They're not
Your
really
name your dog before you say anything. What breed is your dog?
Huh?
What breed is your dog?
Oh, he's a mix. It's a Dalmatian and Terrier, some sort of Australian Terrier, isn't it?
What were you referencing when you said border dogs yesterday? I thought you were talking about breed.
Some border dogs. These people, they don't have dogs. Sometimes they'll just walk down the street. But when we walk down towards there's like a tributary for the Rio Grande, and there's all these people. When I say border dogs, there's all these people that have dogs. In the backyard, and they start barking at my dog. Those aren't, I wouldn't talk about like a special type of breed.
No. Yeah.
I grew up with Rottweilers and Doberman stuff.
No, they thought you were talking about like border guard dogs. I thought you were talking about like a border breed, like border collie or something. But I guess you were talking about just.
No.
Barking at your dog, gotcha.
No, we just we got that's for sure. Anyway.
There was submission of quota.
Yeah, so there was an act in Riyadh, in the Saudi capital, four of the ballistic missiles that were launched were intercepted, but it does look like one, at least, or this could be, it's always hard to tell because it could be like the remnant to one, but it does look like there is one that actually did make an impact. So, that is the breaking news. The good thing is it doesn't look like. So the missiles that were fired from Iran, ballistic missile launches on Saudi oil infrastructure seem to all have been intercepted except one. The four missiles, one of them does look like it made an impact somewhere. Not sure if it actually hit.
Was it a facility, casualty? We don't know.
We don't know. It's too early to tell. Looks like it's some sort of oil, something, but I don't know if this was in. It says the capital, right? Yeah, it's hard to tell. Hard to tell like exactly what it hit. So I don't want to speculate.
Ladies and gentlemen, TNN.
You want to talk about oil? Because they didn't have an impact, we started to see oil futures taper off or drop. That's the real news. Is that not significant going down, but not going towards the 180 that was a possible. So. There you go.
What's your take on Joe Kent?
Joe Kent, the dude that resigned?
Yep.
So what?
Do you think he was accurate? Do you think that there really was a threat? Do you think there wasn't a threat? Do you think
I would agree with him that the threat to the United States was not imminent. No. But to say that there wasn't a threat would be inaccurate as well. So, yeah, I think he's somewhat anti-Semitic, like Marjorie Taylor Greene. So it's hard for me. It's hard for me, like somebody who's made the types of statements and said the types of things that he said in the past. Some of these people that are in the Trump orbit, it's hard for me to take seriously. Even though some things like now Marjorie Taylor Greene, she sounds a lot more normal. I agree with her on. It's hard for me to forget that she was talking about Jewish space lasers, you know.
What does that matter if he's accurate in this situation, right? What if he said all kinds of things in the past, but what he's saying is factually based and factually accurate, based on intel, which he has way more intel than us. That's literally his job, right? His job description.
So there are some people, I heard Scotty talking before. Like, I actually wouldn't call Jared Kushner at this point. I wouldn't call him unqualified.
He's extremely unqualified. Extremely. There it is. No, he's not. Let us use the word. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, not after in his second term. How do we call somebody unqualified after 2 terms, right? First term, yeah. Second term.
He's a slumlord in the East Village. He's learning on the job, getting some business deals for his companies in Saudi Arabia.
Like, hello, just years on the job doesn't mean that you learn the role and can perform it effectively.
Actually, in my world it does. But
some people just sit and clock in and don't do shit and don't learn shit.
That is true. But in the case of Kent, like, I don't think he was qualified to take the job. I think his intel assessment was accurate. Like, it's hard for me to disagree with, I don't completely disagree with what he said, but I also have to take the person and their motives in their totality. Who's somebody who is, claiming January 6th was fraudulent, has said all sorts of things, about how great, Donald Trump was, and, it's all, just,
I would both agree with Joe and Jared Kushner. When one said the threat is imminent and the other said the threat is not imminent, and then you just said that the threat, according to you, you believe Joe Kent, that threat wasn't imminent. This is speaking by Brainerd.
That's the part. So how do I separate the threat being? So the threat to the United States itself was not imminent. Like, I do not believe that next week.
Kushner disagrees.
Well, okay, fine. I don't think he believes that either.
He said that I don't think Trump, according to the report.
Do you want to talk to me a little more?
No, go ahead. Just correct. You'd say.
You don't ask me a question and interrupt every
Joe Kent and.
Okay, then let me answer the question. Thanks. So, I do not believe that Iran is going to attack the United States the next week. I think that's a ridiculous assessment. However, was Iran and its missile capability and its aims for nuclear ambitions a threat, as assessed, since the Clinton era, as I can recall? was it a threat to the region? Was it a threat to U.S. interests? And would it eventually become a growing threat to the U.S.? I would have to concur with that, yes.
Spirit, is you here? Yep. The reason I said let him finish his thing is give him 10 seconds more and he would give you a dumb reason as to why he said what he did, and then you can pounce on him. No, you're right to say. You're right. I mean, saying that Jared Kushner is qualified, I'm still kind of stuck on that. No, I know it's hard because you're a New Yorker. You know the guy very well and all that. But I was going to let Trent just finish that. It was going to take you less than 10 seconds and you would realize he has no idea what he's talking about. I realize I get triggered. What can I say? Next thing I know, Steve Woodcock is qualified. But that's it.
Hey, you guys, Trent is still here.
Hi, Trent. Go ahead and say what I was wrong, Lord, since you have such an assessment. You're going to do that the
So, your response, okay, fine. That's the thing. Your response was, he's qualified because he's already been there for 2 terms.
You're talking about, you want to talk about Kushner? Go ahead.
Yes, with the Trump administration. What is it about him that makes him qualified? Let's start with that. Tell me. Other than him being there for 2 terms.
There's a different argument. I thought you were talking about the ballistic missile threat, which was Gemini's question. But if now you want to talk about Kushner,
yeah.
Well, I think after 2 terms in a presidential setting, would I call Jared Kushner qualified? Yes. Not many people in the world spend 4 years in such a position. So is he qualified to negotiate the things that he's negotiating? To me, at this, I think he knows what he's talking about.
Oh, okay.
How did the negotiation went?
You may not.
Right. What are the requirements for a good negotiation?
What are the requirements for a good negotiator?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand how you're assessing him. Like, what are the KPIs? Break them down for me.
For my...
I'm saying that he's qualified. What are his KPIs?
Yeah, a good negotiator comes out with deals that are advantageous towards whatever entity they represent. Such as
that's how you.
specifically negotiating.
Then how can you say he's a negotiator?
I told you.
I would say, what I said was, because he's got experience in the job for the course of 2 terms, which most people don't last that long in these, I think at this level. It's hard for me to say that he's inexperienced or doesn't know what he's talking about in terms of it. Now, I mean, I agree with everything that has happened in the first term to now, but the call being unqualified and inexperienced would be a falsehood at this point.
So what you're saying, Trent, is, let's say in a world where you were a very wealthy businessman, you decided to pick one of your in-laws to work in your company. And because that person is there, for what sole reason, I don't know, because they're married to your daughter, or you like the guy, or whatever, that alone qualifies the individual. It gives the individual.
So we're talking about 2 different things. His initial appointment in 2016, no, I would not call him qualified to be in the position. But now, after 5 years of being in the position and negotiating things at a very high level, somehow he got $1.5, him and Bloomington each got $1.5 million from Saudi Arabia, and nobody said shit. At this point, I got to call him experienced and qualified. I can't call him not qualified. Hold on, dude. Just let me. I'll put it in football terms. Some people wouldn't call Derek Carr a good quarterback. Okay, because he didn't win a playoff game, didn't take his team to the Super Bowl. Not a good quarterback. But I would be hard pressed for anybody to say Derek Carr has spent, I think, 10 years as a quarterback in the NFL, as a starting quarterback, not experienced. You can say he could. Okay, that's your opinion. But I can't call him not experienced at this point. He is experienced. He is qualified to be a quarterback.
I'm sure doesn't mean you're qualified. I can work 10 years in the kitchen and still not be able to cook, nor understand what's on the menu, and how to deliver the best value to the customers coming to the restaurant.
I got it. Wait, hold on, Trent, real quick. Hold on, Trent, real quick. So, Janice, let us both enter into an agreement. Let's make it $1 billion. Do you agree to this agreement between you and I? It's payable. We don't have to disclose the terms on how it's paid or when it's paid or how often it's paid. We could just say we did a deal for $1 billion. Do you want to do that deal?
No, I need to see the term.
No, you're missing the point. Anybody else want to do the $1 billion deal?
Okay.
Hold on, Trent. Hold on. Understand it. Neil, wait 1 second. Neil Liberal and I just did. Hold on, Trent. Hold on, Trent.
We're having a one here for the contest.
What is going on? Trent, stop interrupting, please. Beg you. Please stop. Neil,
experience. I thought he was going to be on me when I brought him back up. He didn't get the point. He did not get the point, so we will continue the conversation. We're going to go ahead, Trent.
Fucking Starbucks again, waiting on a latte. He can come back in a minute. My God. Lord. Are you saying, based upon Gemini's question, which is a very valid question, are you saying that Iran's ballistic missile threat and capability and munitions were a threat to the region and the interest of the United States? Is that what you're saying?
When did I say that?
Asking, do you think it's a threat?
It was a threat to Israel. Israel considered it a threat. The rest of the region, it depends. Who gives a shit? The fact is, who am I sitting in some shithole place to dictate to the Iranians what they can have or what they cannot have? It's not my place to do that. But we were talking about Jared Kushner. Why did we go to ballistic missiles all of a sudden?
Gemini's question was about ballistic missiles, not about Jared Kushner. And Kent. He was asking about Kent. But it's hard for me to say because it's not just the Trump administration. All administrations have called Iran a threat. So now say they're not a threat. Look, I get that we don't like, the many of you don't like Trump. I understand. I don't like the way he puts things. But I also, it reminds me, when you have a woman who said it's not a threat. Who said it's not a threat? I didn't say anybody said that. I think every administration has called Iran a threat, and I can't remember. You said it's not a threat. I said I get that you don't like Donald Trump in the way that he puts things.
I referenced what Kent had said yesterday during his submission. So that might be what he's not talking about anybody in the room. I think he's talking about
yes. Yeah, and so what I would say about Iran, and I liken a lot of things of World War II because it's one of my favorite subjects. But when you have a weekend opponent, you crush it. And I agree with that. Once Hamas was out of the way and Hezbollah was no longer as it had been as a threat to Israel. And we taken out the nuclear sites or damaged nuclear sites. I'm sorry, did you just remove the word imminent and proceeded talking about text letter specifically is about imminent threat, which is a legal significance. You can't remove the word imminent. And so I didn't say just talking about
Imminent threat isn't one of the lingos in the car dealership 101 handbook. So
So I didn't say anything was a imminent threat. I didn't say anything was an imminent threat. I didn't mention Jeff Kent and what the fuck he said. But it reminds me of World War II, the lead up to World War II. Had someone put a stop to Hitler when he went into the Rhineland, if you'd have gotten the opponent when they were weak, you can prevent the wider catastrophe. And that's the best thing I can liken it to. So I don't have a problem with removing Iran right now.
All right, so can I go down? Thank you. So the whole point that I was making is that Trent used the $1 billion deal as a sign of competency, right? So obviously, if you and I agree to a $1 billion deal, that doesn't mean that I'm fucking competent. Because you don't know the terms of the deal. It could be all for show. Like when you get that big check that says, I've donated $10 million to this philanthropic or cultural fucking institution, doesn't mean how it was dispersed. It doesn't tell us how it was dispersed or what the terms were. It just looks really, 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 really good, right? And if you never delve into the details, how is this a sign of competency?
Yeah, it's not
You're didn't understand what I was saying, which is why you started crying. And then Gemini jumped in, didn't understand, and then shut
That was because we were having a conversation.
You're an idiot. You're just an idiot.
Okay, cool.
But I proved it because I said I wouldn't do it without seeing the terms.
Oh, that's a different point.
I want to make it quick. I want quick point and not being talked over. Yeah, so my quick point is that we're also talking about completely different things, and I'm surprised nobody has brought that up. Just because somebody can do a business deal in Saudi Arabia does not mean they know how to negotiate treaties, military shit, security measures. Wow. Security measures, diplomacy with fucking half the world. It does not mean that just because you can do a real estate deal and get money and grift for yourself in one country. It's completely different. That's why Jared Kushner is not qualified. That's why Stephen Witkoff is not qualified. So even though Jared Kushner's been there for 5 years, he has a very specific experience with grifting for his own benefit with Saudi Arabia.
You take it off my point. Thank you.
I wasn't even listening to you, but then.
Well, you were doing like crying.
You're crying at a fucking Five Guys, shoving your face with over-oiled French fries. So shut the fuck up.
Too much on Five Guys.
Five Guys, weirdo.
Five Guys
is trash.
They have great French fries though.
That's why I do too.
Their burgers are trash though. I want to smoke on it.
Thank you, James, because I was going to say, like, why are we disparaging Five Guys?
Me and my daughter had this argument on it. They're the worst burger ever. We can get back to politics, I'm sorry.
Yeah, didn't Kushner negotiate the Abraham Accords?
Wow. On the trend laugh. I heard that one.
I can't help myself. Fire.
Did he? Did Kushner negotiate the Abraham Accords? Is that accurate?
Yeah, he was one of the lead negotiators. You think those are good? Abraham Accords?
I don't know much about him. I'm just looking at
Imagine citing something and not knowing the details when you were using Chicago was called us.
He took that with Jared. He said the better negotiator. But then he talked about it.
I gotta have a sidebar with you. Y'all can have it. You can't bring up something and then say someone's a good negotiator and then say you have no record of their negotiations or their credibility in being a negotiator. Kind of negates your point, brother.
No. I'm gonna say it one more time. I didn't say that he was good. I didn't say that he was, the Henry Kissinger of negotiations and diplomacy. That's not what I said.
You're using one of my comic voices. Say that to you.
I wasn't trying to say it, but it about it. I wasn't trying to, but it did come out that way. But no, I'm not saying that. But all I said, the only comment I made is I wouldn't call him unqualified at this point after being in high-level negotiations for 4 or 5 years at this level. I didn't say he was, I don't know if he's good or not. But man, like I said, hey, look, ain't none of us got $1.5 billion. So he knows something.
Quick question, Trent. Quick question. You brought up that Abraham Accord. You couldn't argue or say anything to kind of support why you brought up that one. Do you know of any policy that he negotiated that we could all look back and say this was Jared's work and you're proud of it? Anything? Just throw anything.
I know a little bit of the Abraham Accords. I think there was Oman and Qatar and the UAE. There was a couple of them. There were some hostages let go. I don't remember everything it entailed, but I know.
Hostages let go?
Yeah, didn't they exchange some people?
Oh, the Accords were normalization with Israel. Some of these Arab countries. Anyway, it's fine. What's another thing you're familiar with?
I don't know the political prisoners. I didn't say hostages. I thought they were political prisoners.
You literally just said hostages a few seconds ago and said you didn't say hostages.
I said that's the wrong term. I meant political prisoners. I thought there was an exchange. I could be wrong, but okay.
Alright. Well, what other thing are you familiar with in terms of Jared's negotiation skills that makes you think he's qualified?
encourage private investment.
Yeah.
You do know that's not a policy thing. That's the Saudis basically giving him money so they could buy influence.
And him and Mnuchin will put $1.5 billion in their pocket.
Are you not familiar with Arab countries finding key people in government and giving them money? That's what I'm talking about.
I am. What's crazy is him and Steve Mnuchin both, and nobody mentions Mnuchin, which is crazy. Both got $1.5 billion, and both ended up back in the government.
When did he go back to government?
Mnuchin didn't go back, but Kushner is now back in government. It is insane.
There is no formal kind of role. I mean, the president sent him to stuff all that, but none of that matters. The fact is, he's given that money for the sole purpose of buying influence from the Saudis and these countries. That's all. So he had to get paid.
Yeah, Trent sounds drunk at 1:35 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Anyway, you still have an answer my question. So go ahead. The Fed just cut the rate by 1.5%.
What?
Yes, sir.
I'm just joking.
Okay, don't do that again.
That was not fucking funny at all.
Yeah.
It was like completely unbelievable. Come on.
Hey, you come for five guys? I'm coming for your ass.
Yeah, man.
The fuck was that? I literally got excited. The fuck?
Well, I had to go to CNBC to see what's up.
I thought somebody maybe threatened to run out his life.
Immediately, I was ready to win that. Anyways, but just go ahead.
Yeah, Trent, I don't want to, I told you that. If they did cut it by 1.5%, I actually believe, because it's so unbelievable that if they did it, I think the market reaction would not be people investing. I think people would be freaked the fuck out. Selling off. Nobody see what's coming because what happened is
I don't know. I don't think the same.
Yeah, Trent, any policy? Not him getting a payout from the Saudis.
I don't really care because I don't know enough about Jared Kushner's mom. The only thing I said is that I wouldn't call him inexperienced. If you think he's inexperienced, fine. Okay. Moving on.
Well, I don't give a fuck either. You were the one that brought it up over here. That's what we do on Clubhouse. Something you get challenged. But since you don't give a fuck, I'll be respectful enough of the state and mute up. And let this fly. Thanks. Okay. I mean, there was something in the chat. So Neo says, Kitover says around sparks firing barrels to make a gas food. Well, we saw that brother or sister. I don't know who Neo is. Or she, they, or...
Get answer, folks.
Yeah, they haven't seen them, but stop sending me essays in the back channel. Someone put this in the chat. I didn't miss this. I missed this. Oh, it was Neo. 2 shipments of Russian oil and gas head to Cuba in defiance of the U.S. That's the downside of the Trump policy. They don't want Russia back in the Western Hemisphere. They might push people into that. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
No, I didn't mean to rush for you, brother.
No, it's okay. No, I was just saying, that could be the downside of the whole thing. What if Cuba doesn't fall, and all of a sudden, they get more support from Russia and China? Specifically Russia oil producer. It's a very, it's a strategy
answer my stupid question. Hello?
I think it's the oil type. I've been asking the same question, but I'm pretty sure it's the oil type.
Yeah, we America don't rely on the Middle East. Not for oil. We produce 19 million barrels a day, and we consume like 19.7 million. And all the extra that we need comes from Mexico and Canada. This is a financial play because of the petrodollar and obviously the general market and supply. It's not because we need it, but directly for our needs. But it does make us money through the petrodollar agreement, which is where they agree to sell oil in dollar denominations, and then they collect those dollars and then buy our treasury bonds with those dollars, and we agree to protect them and sell them weapons and stuff like that. So it's not that we need it for our consumption needs, but it is a financial benefit.
Concrete are you trolling me?
No, those are the numbers that I have. The amount that we produce as America, the amount that we consume.
It's really good. The second.
Which one?
The
What about the petrodollar?
No, because when people come in, they trigger it and he goes crazy.
Huh?
He wasn't doing it on purpose. But you want to.
I don't get it. What's wrong with the petrodollar? What's wrong with the
The way people talk about it, they just don't know. And he goes crazy and talks about recycling and all this stuff. And they just don't know what it is. So it's one of his triggers. That's all I'm worried about. It's like when a black woman comes in here and plays auntie, one of your triggers.
I don't know. Whatever's a troll, I don't get it.
It's not a troll. No. People come in and always like bring up petrodollar and don't know what they're talking about.
Oh, got it.
And he was wondering if you were going to tell.
Oh, okay, got it.
Warren Johnson, I was saying you weren't trolling.
Got it.
It's like when, people come in, take Miss Cleo. She actually is not trolling you. That's just her personality. Can I get to the yes? Sweet.
Whenever a pipeline or whatever is destroyed over there, it affects our prices over here. Does it affect the people in the southern hemisphere the same?
It does affect everybody because no matter who produces how much, America sells oil globally, right? So if other countries cannot get it from
Wrong second. It was like a whole half note off. It wasn't even flat. It was like a whole half note. Brother put pitch in the chat.
I don't understand how you see.
In my head, I was like, I'm not singing the right note.
It was when I noticed you quit mid to.
Yeah,
However, I don't understand. Brandy still give you 100 coins.
No, she gave it to everybody.
Brandy is being generous.
I appreciate you, Brandy.
Brandy got a tax refund. She's on her way to TGI Fridays for all her green beans.
Thank you.
She got them fried green beans and an extra shot of Henny in her hurricane.
I just shot a Henny. Okay.
I was going to see that.
The only thing good about that submission is that you knew it was glitchy until you cut it off. Just stop.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Trying to go medium. Sorry, but I didn't cut you off, Neoliberal, but in the Negro gatherings, when somebody's off that bad, you have to stop. And,
it's kind of like self-reporting.
Yes, I just self-reporting. All right, you guys talk about the petrodollar.
No, I was trying to explain. Why the price is global. United States sells energy to anybody, right? So that includes domestic and external consumers. And when external consumers can't get it from the Gulf, in this case, then we're going to turn to the United States, which is going to increase demand on the energy United States sells, which is going to increase the price, right? So it's going to increase the price also for domestic producers because consumers, because the U.S. producers also sell globally, and the supply has been globally constricted.
Not you call him Negro liberal. What is going on?
Negro liberal is actually funny as shit.
Back in
Well, y'all love handing out that card.
Yeah, no,
Hold on.
Let's talk about this brother, man.
I gotta work through it. Not because he's, gets hurt, but depending on his, he could be part African. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure, but
Let's offer him the African American Express.
As long as you don't give it the spirit test, and as long as you don't give it the Monica and El Normo.
I've had one my entire life. My life I had to fight.
No, you have to pay the money and the
I do like Panamanians, but only Panamanian. She put, oh no, and the Panamanian dudes are cool too. You know what, I actually like Panama a lot.
I love
She put Negro liberal, that's my favorite, Central American country. Negro liberal has his bank account closed, but I put in the chat, I don't know if y'all were listening yesterday, but when Trent said he wanted to bet him in rubles and, what do you call them? Armenian, what do you say? What's the adjective for someone from Armenia?
Armenian?
Yeah, Armenian dollars. He said Armenian dollars. Y'all let this slide. But neoliberal said in my quote, it's okay, we can do US dollars. I have a brokerage account in the that's in the United States. Now watch this. Neoliberal, is it Charles Schwab? Watch this. Yeah, it's Charles Schwab, isn't it? Told you. So Brandon, he doesn't want your clubhouse money. He's got Charles Schwab white glove service. You missed it.
Yeah, he doesn't have a Rockford.
The day before that, somebody said, I could buy your house. And he was like, anybody with the, what did he say, with the property values increasing? Yeah, I might as well just sell it. I might as well just sell it. Yeah, like, y'all gotta stop playing with that. I think he has
Remember, that's when I said that's the big deal, not the little one.
Oh, the deal. Do you actually own a home in California, neoliberal? Or what do you say?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I do own a business that is similar to them.
That's interesting. No, that's my hobby. People get confused. For the record, I breed as a hobby. My business is actually cannabis. My hobby is I don't like what's wrong, that's all.
Oh, I knew that, but I didn't think he owned cannabis. That's why.
No, neoliberal has some OnlyFans. Well,
But man, I will tell you this, and we won't make this a cannabis conversation, I promise, but since I've been involved in business, there's a lot of billionaires that are involved at arm's length. They have representatives because they don't want to mess up their portfolio, but they're investing heavily. I promise you, there's so many NDAs going around. Believe me, I'm not just saying that. I promise on my dead brother David, there are a lot of them. A lot.
I knew he was invested in cannabis when he asked the other day. I think he got mad at either Trent or who, and he was like, "Hey, this was the day when you guys had that longer weed conversation?" And he was like, "Did you smoke something today?" There was just something about his son that made it seem like he definitely had some money in the cannabis sector.
So he is, because a lot of the cannabis people, I see what it is. A lot of the cannabis people, because it was Schedule 1, it's still Schedule 1. Remember that big show Trump made, and it's going to be Schedule 1 throughout his presidency. It's just nasty like that. But they can't get funded.
I think they're going to do it during his presidency. The executive order didn't change it. It was to initiate the law that changes. That's what the executive order was.
And I think at any moment, Khalees and I are going to come by and help me cook these ribs. And we're going to put you
Good luck getting the GOP to do it. Mario, that's a nasty comment. Nasty. He said, don't get Gemini talking about weed or penis cables. That's what he said.
But neoliberal must be one of these people who this offshore financing. Now I see what's going on. So you couldn't get the money from Wells Fargo or Goldman Sachs. You went to a post-Soviet, Asian, white, Negro passing apparatchik.
With a call center in the Philippines.
That's why he's been in such a bad mood, because of the energy crisis. He had to shut his call center down.
Yep.
I know.
video from your friend, Monica of Senators. I just found another clip of him, and this one is really good. Apparently, he claims he was involved in some classified missions, but then he couldn't talk about it. And he's being asked this question. If you guys want, I can play you the clip.
Yes.
Sure, here it is.
Or locations on this. And so I have zero issue with talking about it. But I don't have clearance to talk about this afternoon. I don't. It's not a feed release. This is a legislative program. This is a program that the Congress assigned you to. Yes. This was in my official duties. Who assigned it to you? Sir, that's not for me to talk to you about on this. I'm sorry. This isn't a classified thing. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be ugly. You know how classified situations, which agency classified it. It wasn't an agency. It was done here, oil in the house on the time. The house classified. I'm assuming. I wasn't on Intel. We just haven't really aware of how the house classifies. Spoke about this. We had to go to the SCIF and visit about it. I know there was a paper that I had to sign before it even started. And I may be wrong. There may be more than 4, but I know it was only me and 3 other people that ever said a secret that we can't know about it. I would think that there'd be some paperwork in the SCIF that they should show us saying this is so top secret and this is bad. I had no problem. Welcome to go to the house. This started in 2015 and ended in little late 2016. I have nothing to hide on this. This is too easy. I would really enjoy sitting there and having a conversation with you because I don't want you to question my character on this. So that's very simple for me, but I can't make that authorization. And you guys know that. Well, it's a little difficult for us to go ask about a program that has no name, and we have nobody that we know to talk to about it. So I don't know how we would begin doing this without your cooperation. But I will agree to hold the vote tomorrow, but you brought this up, that you were on a super secret mission. You can't tell us. No, I did not say super secret, sir. I said it was classified. That only 4 people know? Well, I don't know if there was 4 people. There was maybe more people that understood it, but I know there was only 3 people plus me that was ever in the meeting. And so as far as I'm concerned, only 4 people was already in on this. I don't know whether you were on the Intel committee or location.
That was the end of the video. I've got some other clip for you guys.
Well, that actually is kind of interesting because the House can classify things.
Yes.
But they would know about it or somebody would know about it. The program you're talking about doesn't sound like the House. I don't know. I don't think Mullen is lying. It could be classified. I just don't think. I hate to do this. I just don't think he knows how things work. So there's a chance that he was on a program that was classified for sure. But about the House classified, that doesn't. I think they'd have to vote to classify. Now there's a select committee that can vote to declassify something, I believe.
Intel.
It's very complicated. It's Intel. But they would know about that, I guess.
The other thing is, I doubt that if your mama was here, maybe she might be able to help. There wouldn't be a program that the House Intel Committee is aware of that the Senate Intel Committee wouldn't know about either. So, yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
The other question is why is this in public? Couldn't they talk behind the scenes?
Well, I think that's what he was trying. Which one? What was behind? Which one behind the classification or the program?
At least it's in public and people know they're now part of some secret classified program. Like his participation may be also sensitive. Why is it in public?
Well, it's over now because it was when he was in the House.
Oh, okay.
Well, his involvement is over. It's kind of a mess, actually. And that, if he's right, I mean, he's wrong and done, but they're kind of wrong and done. Because it's kind of a mess. It doesn't sound like he was prepared well, or they were prepared. They should just confirm him. He's going to be confirmed.
Yeah. Let me see.
The Department of Homeland Security has the mandate since the Obama era for securing our election infrastructure. That's an important job, and you'll be secretary. The 2020 election. You have your own history. You did not certify the 2020 election. There are people at the Department of Homeland Security, 3 people specifically who are well-known election deniers now running election security functions. Who won the 2020 election?
Ma'am, we know that President Joe Biden was sworn into office. He was president for the last 4 years. But I do believe my job as Department of Homeland Security Secretary will be to make sure that we assure that the elections are fair and people can trust them.
Does the federal government run the elections process or do states?
It's very clear in the Constitution that the states control state elections, and then there is some federal oversight that's on it, but the federal government can set some standards. So if you're talking about the Save American Act, requiring, which is within the Constitution, by the way, requiring individuals to be citizens of the United States, I don't think it's too much to ask somebody to prove they're a citizen of the United States.
That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about administering the elections. If you're Secretary of Homeland Security, do you feel you have the authority to put uniformed officers at polling locations in 2026?
Ma'am, we said this in your office. The only reason why my officers would be there if there was a specific threat for them to be there, not for intimidation. And
even though we didn't need it during World War II, we didn't need it during Vietnam or the War on Terror, we never had to put uniformed military there. Now, you feel that there's going to be a reason that there's going to be an armed threat to the United States that you
know. No, ma'am. I said I can't sit there and guarantee hypothetically what threat would be or not. I'm not putting the military. That's not within my
uniform. Sorry,
yes, but if there is a threat, a specific threat, say it's in a Jewish community, and there is a threat that's specific to that polling area, then we will work with local law enforcement. There'll be a reason for us to be there, and it'll be known why we're there.
I think the reason you're here and not Christy Nome is because Americans trust their local law enforcement now way more than they trust ICE. So I would just say, if we ever get to the point where you are being asked to put armed ICE officers at polling locations, we have lost the plot as a country. We have fundamentally lost it. And until I hear someone tell me that this man, President Trump, will actually allow us to have a free and fair election, there is zero trust here, and I cannot trust that he won't try and steal it again. I yield back.
I would definitely use the time to ask something else, not this, but I'm not a senator. Let me see, there's another,
Do what he did. I said I could understand because of the behavior you were having, that I can understand why the neighbor did what he did.
Sorry. Oh, that's how he ended his thing, actually. Sorry. God, I saw earlier, I compiled a bunch of clips.
In the skiff, they haven't. Okay. With that, I'll yield back.
Thank you. As I said previously, we've scheduled a vote tomorrow. I'm committed to that. There are several members on both sides of the aisle that would like a briefing in the skiff. They have it from 1 to 2. If you're willing to do that, several members would like just to walk over and do it. And I think that makes it much more likely that we have a vote tomorrow.
Sir, I would prefer to have the ranking member, yourself, James, if you want to bring in a Democrat member, that's on.
It's all or nothing. All the members need to be able to hear it directly. And the problem is today things are siloed, and it just looks like resistance that you don't want everything to come out. If it's coming, if you let any member of the committee and classified staff into it, I think we can get something.
That's fine, as long as it's in a classified setting.
As long as what?
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. It's classified security on our staff and staff.
TSSCI, yes.
All right, thanks everybody for coming today. The nominee has filed responses to biographical and financial questionnaires, answered pre-hearing questions submitted by the committee, and had their financial statements reviewed by the Office of Government Ethics. Without objection, this information will be made part of reception of the nominees' financial data, which are on file with the committee. Due to the quick turnaround between this hearing and the markup tomorrow, the hearing will remain open until 4 p.m. today, March 18th. This hearing is adjourned.
That's everything I have. If you guys want to listen to any policy-related stuff, or if you want to talk about Mark Wayne Mullen, I just wanted to share that earlier. Anyone? Okay, let me.
Sorry, what did you ask? Sorry.
No, I was saying that's the those are just some of the clips I found for this guy, Mark Wayne Mullen, who's going through confirmation hearing for Homeland Security Secretary. I have, let me find the clips on.
He really avoided that answer to 2020 question, though. Yeah, he did. And right before we go to the next clips, real quick, Brother Bear, I'm still upset about the 1.5. But at least they did adjust it by a point. I see where you're going there. They did adjust it by a point, not a 1.5.
Let me check the market and see what things are. Okay, so Tulsi. Make sure I have this thing. Perfect.
The regime in Peoria now trying to promote the deceased Ayatollah as a martyr who should be followed and help them consolidate support.
Senator, the Iranians are certainly using that as a call to action. The effects of that from an intelligence standpoint remain.
There is a tradition in Shia to honor martyrs. One of their greatest celebrations is the martyrdom of the grandson of Muhammad. Is that correct?
That's right.
So we might have played into their cultural biases erroneously.
So that was Tulsi Gabbard basically admitting on the oath that this could create the killing of the Ayatollah could create a major blowback to the U.S. And there was one with, let me find you the one with John Ossoff. That was a good one. Here. Perfect. 4 minutes.
Providing national intelligence to the president, correct?
Yes.
And to the heads of executive branch departments and agencies, yes?
Yes.
Senior military commanders.
Across the IC, yes.
And to the Senate and the House and relevant committees, correct?
Yes.
And the law states that the national intelligence you provide to Congress, quote, should be timely, objective, and independent of political considerations, correct?
Yes.
And you noted in your opening statement you're here fulfilling a statutory responsibility and that your testimony, quote, represents the IC's assessment of threats, correct? That opening statement, as submitted to the committee in advance of this hearing, stated that as a result of last summer's airstrikes, quote, Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated, end quote, correct?
That's right.
And is that in fact the assessment of the intelligence community?
Yes.
So the assessment of the intelligence community is that Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated by last summer's airstrikes?
Yes.
And the opening statement you submitted to the committee last night also stated, quote, there has been no effort since then
intelligence community assessed that Iran maintained the intention to rebuild and to continue to grow their nuclear enrichment capability?
Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, yes or no?
Senator, the only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
False. This is the worldwide threats hearing where you present to Congress national intelligence, timely, objective, and independent of political considerations. You've stated today that the intelligence community's assessment is that Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated and that, quote, there have been no efforts since then to try to rebuild their enrichment capability. Was it the intelligence community's assessment that nevertheless, despite this obliteration, there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime? Yes or no?
It is not the intelligence community's responsibility to determine what is and is not an imminent threat.
Okay.
That is up to the president based on a volume of information that he received.
It is precisely your responsibility to determine what constitutes a threat to the United States. This is the worldwide threats hearing where, as you noted in your opening testimony, quote, you represent the IC's assessment of threats. You are here to represent the IC's assessment of threats. That's a quote from your own opening statement. And so my question is, as you're here to present the IC's assessment of threats, was it the assessment of the intelligence community that, as the White House claimed on March 1st, there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime? Yes or no?
Once again, Senator, the intelligence community has provided the inputs that make up this annual threat assessment.
Do you want to answer the question?
It is the nature of the imminent threat that the president has to make that determination based on a collection volume.
You're here to be timely.
Intelligence that he is provided with.
You're here to be timely, objective, and independent of political considerations.
Exactly what I'm doing.
No, you're evading a question because to provide a candid response to the committee would contradict a statement from the White House.
Yep. So that's the end of the 4-minute clip. I could find you more, but if you guys want to talk about this, I knew you were going to like this one. I'll hear them.
The district is very hard. Even under Bush, this would be probably an impeachable thing.
I agree.
Wait, which part would be impeachable, neoliberal? If you wanted a smoking gun, right, for, again, in a different political environment, for bushlies of WMD and imminent threat in this case, right, the whole justification of legality of war, this is it.
Yeah, imagine telling members of Congress that George W. Bush is the one who determines which threat is imminent. Then why the hell are we funding the intelligence agencies? What's the point of their job? Except Bush was a bit smarter. They actually threw the intelligence.
Well, I mean, previous intelligence assessments saw that the previous threat, if there was any, was obliterated. The previous assessment was that there was no nuclear weapons programs. A line of statements representing the IC, right, by Tulsi Gabbard, support the notion that there was no imminent threat, right, from her own office. But then she refuses to conclude, right, and agree with her own previous assessments, and says that it's the job of the president.
And before that, she also said, well, we believe they had the intention to continue pursuing this nuclear program. Like, I'm like, are you reading the minds of the aliens enough to be able to tell that it's not what we're doing now when coming to making conclusions on what we believe? The only thing that I actually find funny is the fact that I know without a shadow of a doubt that Donald Trump himself did not open his PDP and read through the intelligence assessment to come to his own conclusion as to whether a threat is imminent or not. There's enough reporting that Trump doesn't read or any of that, so he made his, and he himself, he said it. That Janet and what was his name, Steve Woodcock came and told him that the Iranians were not playing ball, so he said, okay, then we're gonna play hardball, since that's what they want to do. He literally said that verbatim in one of his interviews recently.
Did you see from that UK senior security officer referring to the...
They talked about it yesterday. I went to look it up now. Yep.
Yeah. You see that I forgot there was a line in the article. He says that the British, he treated the Witkoff and Kushner as Israeli agents.
Yep, I saw that. They were there to speak on behalf of people.
I can read out the bit from The Guardian if that's funny. I'll just give, here's 2 paragraphs. Accounts differ on whether Kushner left the talks giving the impression Trump would welcome what had been agreed, or that the U.S. negotiators knew it would take something massive to persuade Trump that war was not the best option. One diplomat with knowledge of the talks said, quote, "We regarded Witkoff and Kushner as Israeli assets that dragged a president into a war he wants to get out of," end quote. I'll put the article in the chat. It's from, when was this?
Somebody has also, somebody has to explain why in the first 2 or 3 days of the war, Marco Rubio and everybody else in the administration decided to blame Israel. I still don't understand that part. Remember?
I remember that. Marco's thing was that we knew the Israelis weren't going to do it, so if we didn't jump in, we would have been threatened anyway. That's what his response was.
Yes, but the presumption was that, well, it was worse than that. It was Israel was going to attack, and when Israel is going to attack, they're going to retaliate against U.S. bases. That's why we went into it, basically making it an Israeli decision fully, right?
Yep, that's what he said.
So somebody has to explain that why they decided that was a good talking point. And they did decide that it was a talking point because all of them repeated it. And then walked it back.
Well, according to Trent, they are all qualified, including Jared Kushner. So, there's that. That would explain why they would circulate a talking point and then turn around and say something completely different. It's like throwing a bunch of things and waiting for something to stick. Or see if it resonates with the American people enough to keep peddling the same thing again and again.
Hey, just quick question. Has there been comments from Steve Bannon on all this? I'm just curious where he falls into it.
Man, nobody listens to his show. I guess we have to get a robot.
I am very concerned, Spirit is that you care. I'm very concerned right now.
Well, I care to the extent that I want to know who has the ear of Trump. So I'm curious what his angle is on this. Don't go in and think, or go in, from the politics assessment as well. This would be good for you as a president. So I'm just curious about all the inputs going into Trump's little
I have some color on that. Did you see the information that Trump, as soon as the strikes started, Trump called Laura Loomer, and to get the validation, and Laura Loomer told Trump that America's so proud of him, or we're proud of America, all this stuff. That's who has apparently Trump's ear. I don't think Bannon is anything skeptical of the situation, but Loomer is the one given the validation, given the glade.
So it just hit me. I just got hit by it. She is the lady from Game of Thrones with the red hair who the guy is beholden to in one of the lesser families. Who am I talking about?
Sandra?
That's exactly who Laura Loomer is. Kind of weird looking. That's exactly who she is.
Did you also see that information going around? Am I the only?
I think I've seen a tweet, and I tend to forget those type of stuff when I see it. Especially after the possible personal relationship between her and Trump.
And you might have seen that there was a speech Trump gave, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago, where he specifically mentions that he did this on the advice of Steve, Jared, Pete. Marco was also involved.
Oh, he did a Nino Brown.
He didn't mention Vance, which I found interesting. I think Vance is 100% to blame. He's part of the crew that did this. Maybe he just neglected to include him, but these are bad hombre.
Yeah, there's been reporting. I've heard from 1 or 2 people that pay attention to this stuff in the past that basically said Vance himself, in some instances, was advocating for going in harder than the administration went in, kind of like obliterate the whole thing, and just went outright. And I think right now, because of his the potential for a presidential run, he's trying to walk a fine line between supporting the president and not being disloyal, but also supporting a policy that is unpopular with the American people.
Yeah, he's in hiding. He doesn't want to be associated with this because it's a cluster F. But you remember the interview after he was nominated at the RNC, Vance did an interview with Sean Hannity, and he went back to the Iran thing. He brought it up several times. This is really Vance can't, scream out of this. He's 100% an Iran war hawk.
Yeah, the thing, this relationship between Trump and Laura Loomer, Americans will learn more about it when, God forbid, an actual crisis happens. I mean, she's responsible for the firing of several NSC officials, the kind of people that are supposed to be gaming out. If we attack a country like Iran, what could be the ramification in terms of energy prices? Or come up with a series of solutions that could help mitigate whatever effects we, the general public, might feel, and then advise or share this information over with their principals. Because usually these NSC staffers, even though they're posted in the White House, they actually work for the different federal agencies. So they all come together and they're posted the NSC. They draw things for the secretary, who will, at the principals meeting, would usually use the information prepared by these staffers to kind of inform the president.
Well, here's the thing that you're blaming. This is like when people blame the mistress of the husband for the infidelity going on, but the blame should be put
can't put it on because it's on our phone. I gotta put something on it.
I agree. We still can talk about court intrigue even if the buck stops with him, but agrees to. But let us talk about the court intrigue.
No, I agree, and I think the literacy
He's the only gay in the world that doesn't like gossip. Lord, Spirit is
But but I think it's good to talk about it in terms of Laura Loomer and who else. So yes, Lindsey Graham, like who else is there? I think that's fair. That's why I want to know about Steve Bannon, what his vocal position.
Yeah, Steve Bannon, just a day ago. Lindsey Graham should be pulled off television. He thinks he's the president of the United States. Lindsey Graham should be registered as a foreign agent of the Netanyahu government. So yeah.
That's a pretty good comment, actually.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, Bannon had Eric, who's the guy, Eric Prince on to disavow the action. When you have guys like, Bolton and Prince, this is going bad. We're in week 3, so week 3. Can anyone give an update on Cuba? People talking about Cuba, but I haven't read the news.
I said Russia was trying to send some oil and gas. Somebody else too. I think Russia was the main one they were trying to send. They were sending a tanker. And maybe Mexico as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The Mexico is getting restored after the blackout.
Ben, Mexico, President refers to the stance on it? She's sending gas also, or just humanitarian stuff?
I don't know. Somebody's reported it on here. I haven't read it myself. I apologize.
No, I spoke a couple weeks ago. Initially, she was going to give fuel, and then she backtracked when Trump was talking shit. Then I guess it turned into giving aid instead. So I'm curious if she changed it.
Yeah, but based on what Trump said, he said it quite explicitly. The people that are in his ear are, Kushner, Witkoff, Rubio, and Hegseth. So there it is from the horse's mouth.
So where is Kushner on this?
What he said was, he ain't going down by himself.
I'm sorry, does anyone know where Kushner is on it?
Yeah, he's pro.
I honestly can't tell if Kushner and Witkoff botched negotiation on purpose or they were too incompetent to understand that they botched the negotiation. There are too many sources at this point confirming that they botched the negotiations and completely misunderstood, either intentionally or non-intentionally, the Iranian proposal. You have the Omani negotiator, you have the Gulf sources, now you have the British sources saying the same thing essentially. And I don't know, and even if they botched the negotiation on purpose, the way they did it was also unprofessional and left them open to multiple sources coming and contradicting them. So there is incompetence on every level, but I can't tell if it's on purpose or not.
Yeah, Mark, have you ever seen the film The Producers? You ever seen them?
No.
It's the guys that do a Wall Street. This is 1967. They did a Broadway musical, but they tried to botch it so bad that it would flop on purpose, so they could do a little financial fraud or something. But yeah, these guys, they look like the most incompetent people ever, but it's a little bit ambiguous. Are they just that bad, or were they? I think they're doing it on purpose. I agree with that crowd, but it's It's hard to suss it out.
It's like, even if you're doing it on purpose, you do it in a way that it doesn't left you open for allegations that you did it on purpose, you know? And in this case, they just look stupid because every source that was present at those negotiations came out and said you pushed it.
Yeah, reportedly they didn't understand what the counterparties were offering. They didn't have any appropriate experts to advise them. But look, I think it's clearly they were, given how disrespectful they were walking out at dumb times. It just looks like they never wanted to get a deal in any serious way.
I think they're also incompetent. They're incompetent. They don't have experience in this.
This might be incompetence actually. Apparently this happened with North Korea. I was reading a book on what happened on North Korea negotiations. Obviously, North Korea is very state testing. Going to a first strike policy is one of the biggest United States embarrassments on the world stage. But apparently there was possibility of a deal with North Korea, and there was something like a 5-hour meeting where technical professionals on both sides were getting to something. And reportedly, Trump got impatient and walked out because he thought it's not going anywhere. People tried to stop him, but he basically walked out.
Yeah, this was the meeting in Hanoi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember at the time. Yeah, you have a president that's operating out of his instincts and gut feeling, rather than reading about information or asking actual experts what they think. You have a president that picks up the phone when he wakes up and calls a media channel. He could be on Hannity or, morning shows actually, because Hannity wouldn't be on at the time. And just be running, you know that term Ben uses every time in Clubhouse? It's all about vibes. That's all it is with Donald Trump.
But you can't say that Jared Kushner isn't qualified because he's been around the administration for so many years.
Yep, he has, for 2 terms. He spent 4 years and he got what? That's what he's doing.
I'm just repeating talking points.
Yeah, he was ready to pounce on Trent the moment Trent opened his mouth. I was like, bro, you gotta let him finish it because, Trent is gonna say something dumb to justify what he just said.
Meanwhile, you talking about Spirit? Meanwhile, the war has fully expanded into energy infrastructure. Iran successfully struck the Qatari gas Rosatom refiner an hour ago.
Yeah, they hit the Iranian fields was that overnight?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a tit for tat retaliation.
Yep, and they also did Saudi Arabia. There's videos all over Twitter right now.
Trent's buddy's gonna make some money here. Trent's buddy's long brand crude oil futures, and he's gonna make bank. Good for Trent's buddy.
Not necessarily. Have you seen the curve, and have you seen the amount that they have in inventories? I mean, they're gonna make money, of course, but it's the inventories number was,
I'm just playing with Trent there. He's having a little fun.
Have we stopped looking for Bibi Netanyahu?
Was that William speaking?
Alright, that was me speaking a moment ago, yeah.
William, so is this the first time you've been on stage?
Maybe once a few, 6 months, a year ago. Not too often. I'm gonna chat in the chat. That's what I like to do.
Oh, you go ahead. So glad you came to stage today. You been showing up. You been spicy since this morning.
William goes on smaller stages typically.
Just don't let him talk about conspiracy theories.
I wish Spiritus would go on.
Oh, okay.
I like to keep energy and conflict that you're not invited to.
Spiritus, please go to Texas. Please. I like it. Yo, I'm not even joking. I'm not doing it for fun. We have a cool day. I'm serious. I'm sorry.
Jim, this is your moment.
Man,
You know,
bullshit today, consistently.
no, I have bullshit. I have getting his conspiracy bag.
He really did.
It's not a conspiracy.
As he should. Bullshit today.
Listen,
I've been thinking rates by a point and a half, and now he's been.
Feds cut the rate. What the hell?
It took half a second to get that.
That was the breaking news earlier. Brady said the Feds cut the rate by a point and a half.
I was just trolling.
Yeah, that was half a second. And he basically told us, Ben, I've tried avoiding sending you anything about the BB stuff. I don't know if you've noticed. Did it really skip that?
I got it all.
I mean, the whole thing with, what's his name, Mike Huckabee yesterday, that was weird. Why did Mike Huckabee of all people? He's still settled. He's still yet to settle his World Balfour declaration. And he's out there doing PR or trying to help, I guess. Oh, Mr. President, I was checking this. The President was asking me to come check in on you and make sure you're doing okay. What the fuck?
So that was it? You didn't want to give a theory behind it, you just wanted to lay it on the table?
Oh, you want to know why? Because if I make that mistake, I know someone that will hold that over me for the next 2 years. No?
You guys did it now. Go ahead and finish it out. What's going on?
No, that was coming to a bad place.
Lay out your evidence that supports your claim. I would like to hear this.
That BB is dead?
Yes, sir.
I never said that.
Okay.
Here, I'll lay it out. So,
I want to hear from Brother Pam.
okay, well, let me just say this real quick and then you can let it go. Real quick, bro. I don't know why I did all that. Anyway, so, did y'all hear about the Indian reporter?
Yeah, the live streamer caught him. Yeah.
Okay. And that was a real thing, right?
Looks real.
It happened.
What was the Indian reporter?
What happened?
Well, Gemini doesn't want me to speak and lay out the argument, but I'm gonna do so anyway because I'm a real nigga. Anyway, so the whole point is that there was an Indian reporter that was looking to get an interview with Bibi Netanyahu, and he happened to be like on his tail, right, like in Israel, looking for him, and happened upon him whilst he was doing a live broadcast. He pans, he's looking at the camera, speaking, and he pans over and sees, oh wow, look, there goes BB right there while he was recording. And that's when they say the Iranians who were also watching and paying attention sent rounds downrange to his location. It's basically the equivalent of somebody getting caught lacking while dropping their location inadvertently on live, right? You know those situations where the guy's got ops, he's on live, he's talking shit, and all of a sudden people are at his location. That's what they said happened. Thank you.
So concrete translation for Gemini, there was a 5-mission brother, and still he was talking. And the motherfucker's dead. It is not uncommon. This is all tinfoil. We're out of the foil on this conversation. We used to go.
But it could be that he went.
Yeah, what's your response?
It could be that he's just been extra careful and out of it.
I actually saw a photo.
So the fact that someone is keeping a low profile, doing a high profile military conferences, we can't call it war, is making you guys feel that he's potentially dead.
No, that's not the evidence chain. No, that wasn't it. The evidence chain was the Indian reporter, the BB getting caught on camera, and then the subsequent proof of life videos that happen to be AI videos. Not once, but apparently 2 times, if not 3 times. So there.
Right, but the Huckabee video, doesn't that kind of demolish the whole possibility?
Oh, Mike Huckabee? When he had a video? When was it?
Yeah, I saw it this morning, Huckabee and Netanyahu.
Oh, okay, I'll go check it out.
I think they're playing with us a little bit. It's kind of funny.
That's exactly why you do not take advice or listen to the opinions of quote unquote real niggas.
So, isn't that the reason? Well, didn't one of the Iranian guys go to like a protest or a rally or whatever and a parade, and then now they're saying he's not alive? So, I mean, I guess that's why he would be keeping a low profile. But what you're saying is because he was spotted, they figured out where he was, and then they chased him down and got him. Was that the conclusion? I just want to make sure that.
Wait, what? Wait, say it again, please.
Never mind.
Why are you correcting the concrete?
Wait, never mind. I was doing something else. You can say it again.
No, this is the moment pass.
First lady, why you don't want to say it again?
The moment pass, sir.
Yeah, he was about to get whooped. That's what's up. She ran back because she knew she was about to lose. Thank you.
Now I'm down to ask.
As always.
Just tighten up that belt so the shit don't keep dropping around his ass.
I saw a friend of mine sent me a video. It was a Haitian lady saying, "Get ready with me when I'm prepared to beat my son." Oh, it was so good. It was so good. Yeah, the Bible literally says, "Spare the rod, spoil the child." I ride with the Bible. Thank you, Renee.
Well, when did you get beaten? Because clearly your performance on this. Yes, what do you mean? You started it with me talking about belt the eggs. Jim and I gave me a signal to shut the hell up. So listen, I don't argue with men. So I just want to leave it. I mean, I could start gender war with you. I mean, a woman submits to a man.
You don't lose that one too. You don't lose that one too.
I'm just saying, isn't that what you always go around saying? Women need to listen to men and they need to fall in line and all that. Okay, so I did that, and now look at you. Thank you, Jack. Hey, Notorious.
I got some breaking news. So earlier today, I was looking for y'all room. I guess y'all were shadow banned. So I went through scrolling through people who are supposedly my friends, and I saw First Lady's PTR. So I said, here goes the room. I clicked on it, and I was shocked at what First Lady was indulging in. The amount of screaming and what they call banging on Clubhouse.
We're not going to do this the First Lady.
No, hold on. She was there. She wasn't participating.
Anyway, I agree.
She was being entertained. I agree on the list.
So, shake your ass. Watch yourself.
Okay.
I came here with my dick in my hand. Don't make me leave with my foot in your ass, B.
Oh.
That's what Mystical said. He entered a guilty plea to rape charges. He's facing a maximum of 20 years in prison. And the details, I'm not even going to give y'all the details. But basically, a woman has stole money, or he felt she stole money, so he sexually assaulted her, aka R-word her, and then allowed her to leave, but made her send him a cash out after she left. And this is his third rape conviction.
Thank you, that's what I'm about to say. Motherfucker doesn't need to come out of prison, period.
Ever.
What's wrong with him? What's wrong?
They should cash it nigga first.
Apparently, they're to let you know he's hyper aggressive, like he's always aggressive.
Apparently, someone spared the rod.
Diddy got his ass whooped, and we see how he turned out. So.
Oh, so y'all know better than the Bible. Okay, cool. I got you. Well, y'all get your own Bible. Y'all own science.
I think when you get your own kids.
Wait, who's to say I don't have children? In my life that I've reared.
Child, so you put your hands on other people's kids? Huh? You put your hands on other people's kids?
Listen.
Jeez, Monet.
Listen, you can say whatever, but guess what?
I didn't say nothing.
They are excellent human beings. No prisons, school, work. Yes.
The question is, did you put your hands up?
Yes, sometimes I have to. Yes.
So you been around here being a stepdaddy? You're like,
I'm a top tier stepdaddy.
What's going on? Let's get down to the business. Oh my goodness, Lord.
I have my A1 gold medal.
But you talked about stepdaddies.
Not once in my life.
You
making stuff up now?
Hey, you know what's even crazier, First Lady? This is the rapper that gentleman chose to quote in the church when he was defending his wife's lustful outfit.
Yep, that's the one. Well, I mean, I don't understand why some of these women would even be in proximity with him based off of his history.
His track record, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be around him, because who knows?
I'm surprised that the men in their lives, like, I'm gonna sound like I'm real sick, but I'm honest, like, that in my life right now, I mean this. If it's a woman in my family where I catch her, it's where I catch her. If it happens to be the courtroom, I got bail money. I'm fucking off the second I catch her. I don't understand how the men in their lives have not done some crazy damage in there. Some shit is worth a motherfucking jail sentence. You touch a woman in my family or my daughter, I don't care if the police got you in cuffs. I'm here to stay.
Even though your mic sucks, bro.
I don't care. That's meant to be.
We can't hear you.
I can hear him fine. What's going on?
No, you don't hear him fine. You can hear him, but you probably straining your ear. Don't say it's fine.
Okay.
I heard it just fine.
Did you come to argue today? What's happening?
Okay.
Are you
We're all having different audio experiences. It's
Do
okay.
you want love?
First Lady, all I said is you can't hear him.
She will come get your brother, please.
Don't bring she up here. They turned she into a mod. They turned her into a mod and she got worse than you. My mic really low.
I can hear you. She will, please, take him back home. He stumbled along the way.
I'm not getting in the car with she was. I'm not getting in the car with that.
Mr. Carl was just doing that before changing face. If Netanyahu was dead, do you think Israel's influence in puppeteering Trump is over with? You think it's all him?
No. I think he's very effective, though, at what he does. But
Very effective. Kurt was one of his little bitches, too.
You think that's the reason why maybe the man decided he was gonna come forward? Maybe he know a little bit more than everybody else.
He does. Or did.
Perhaps. I don't know. But I ain't gonna say that. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
That is already.
You can say something and take it back. Yes.
Hey, you walked it back. You walked it back.
I mean, because really, when I was asking him the question, it was twofold because, I could see possibly that's how they got the Iranians with him, putting himself out there on the front street. Somebody was able to follow him, and then they had the what you call it, the beat on, and if Netanyahu, the reporter found him, I don't know. That would be smart. But that's the only reason why I'm saying about the reporter fountain. And if the reporter fountain and exactly. That's the only caveat. But who knows? I don't even know if the story is true of what he provided.
I'm surprised. Brother Van tends to stay away from tinfoil topics. That he just embraced this pie.
But he really
Everyone needs a tinfoil sometimes.
because really, to be honest with you, he was the person I was asking to, go and explain why.
Yeah, likewise, and conscious.
Exactly. That's the reason why I felt like he was telling me.
Wait, what happened?
Go back on the phone.
We were talking to each other.
For the lady.
You have important calls to tend to, sir.
I swear, the black community, I swear, if I could get accepted by another community, I get rid of y'all so quick.
I thought you were with them.
I can learn Chinese, perhaps.
You need me to help you with that?
I can switch communities.
I would trade Negro.
I can learn Europe or something.
I would definitely import Negro liberal and export a concrete immediately.
I will come out of global relations retirement and help you. You need a press kit? What you need? I help you.
Let me think about it, Johnny. Cause I gotta get away from y'all. Y'all get on my nerve.
It's crazy how it's everybody else and never you.
It is everybody else. It's called Sodom anyway.
And that was my question. You never lady. While he's not paying attention in Gemini, the community I'm thinking about is one that involves housing. So it may be a waiting list for it, but I'm gonna work on it. I'll get back to y'all.
Wait, what? Listen,
You
housing.
you wanted to go to a different community,
You
right?
might need housing, so that could be a good trade. There you go. The roof, 3 houses with concrete.
That's crazy. He said he wanted a new computer. I'm just trying to help the brother. You act.
Yeah, definitely gotta get away from y'all.
Did y'all invite him?
I was born into.
Alright, what he meant was he was grandfathered. We inherited him.
Y'all was cool in the mid-2000s. In 2010, y'all was good. But now, oh my gosh.
Who was y'all?
Black community.
I thought you were talking about women. So, did they confirm this guy? Did that come through?
Oh, you're talking about Mark Wayne? No, not yet. He hasn't been confirmed.
Are they still going? Are they still talking? Are they still going with them?
Yeah, I think the hearing might have been done by now. Yes.
I'm looking at the headlines and saying that the U.S. believes that Iran's regime is still very much intact, going against everything that we've been told by TNN. I do have a brief clip if you guys like, but we can keep going. Y'all let me know.
conventional military power projection capabilities have largely been destroyed, leaving limited options. Iran's strategic position has been significantly degraded. The US-led maximum pressure campaign and snapback of European sanctions added additional pressure to an already bleak Iranian economy, resulting in mass protests earlier this year that Tehran suppressed by killing thousands of protesters. Even if the regime remains intact, the IC assesses that internal tensions are likely to increase as Iran's economy worsens. Even so, Iran and its proxies continue to attack US and allied interests in the Middle East. The IC assesses that if a hostile regime survives, it will likely seek to begin a years-long effort to rebuild its military, missiles, and UAV forces. Prior to Operation Epic Fury, the IC assesses Iran was trying to recover from the severe damage to its nuclear infrastructure sustained during the 12-day war and continued to refuse to comply with its nuclear obligations with the IAEA, refusing them access to key facilities. The IC assesses that Iran has previously demonstrated space launch and other technology it could use to begin to develop a militarily viable ICBM before 2035, should Tehran attempt to pursue that capability. However, these assessments will clearly be updated as the full impact of Operation Epic Fury's devastating strikes on Iran's missile production facilities, stockpiles, and launch capabilities is determined.
It flexed some political muscle.
What was that speaking?
Look back 1 second, I'll tell you. Damn it, I lost the article. First lady, give me a second.
It was given. Okay. It was given Tulsi Gabbard, but I thought it couldn't have been her. I don't know.
It was.
It was her? Okay.
Do I need to find her, or did you say it was Ben?
Yeah, that was her.
Did y'all talk about how somebody's selling Grok, well, XAI, for creating images of children sexual abuse?
1 second, it was Tulsi Gabbard, but she looks weathered, brother. Like, damn. That wasn't a good look. I'm sorry, wait, Brooklyn.
Well, I already said it at this point, so there's that.
My apologies.
Dad talked about it before. I don't know much about it, but the little bit I read is very disturbing. I don't know how to curb that. It's you know, I guess you could program the AI not to do it somehow. I don't know.
I thought they had the safeguards around AI where it wouldn't let you create like certain images. I know with ChatGPT you can't do anything violence or.
They will. There's workarounds. I've done it a million times. There's workarounds. You got to make it sound like it's for educational purposes, demonstration purposes, not just for your own gratification, and they'll do it. And then a lot of times they'll do it, and then they'll realize what they generated is not what you want, but you can already download it before they even track it. So there's a million workarounds to it.
There is Rook.
Or you can just make your own offline right there on your computer, and that's easy too.
You are correct, Jim. There's a million workarounds. I have some breaking news I'd like to share that I'm stunned that I am shared, but I'm happy to share.
TNN, he is stunned. One mic on you, TNN. Let's go.
Thank you, baby. This is a moment.
Baby.
The United States government has officially registered the domain aliens.gov. I'm going to speak.
Oh, congratulations.
He's stunned to give you guys that news.
I got so excited.
T9 United States has registered, officially registered, alien.gov.
Aliens? Like illegal aliens?
Not illegal aliens.gov, just aliens.gov.
Is it safe to say that trade is responsible for at least 30% of your content, gross domestic product?
30?
I think Trent is a good 30.
No.
Good 30.
I don't think he's 30. I think he is definitely in content, but 30, no sir. I won't say 30. We appreciate his contributions, for sure.
Listen, you're good for a good 2%. Man is doing a lot of heavy lifting. He's in the 50 plus range. Trent is, neoliberals up there.
And you're down there.
Yeah, neoliberals up there in the 50 plus range as well. Don't worry about the math. My cousin, who's a photographer, was able to update, because he had an old, outdated website. He was able to go to Claude, and Claude take all the because conversion is what matters for, marketing sites. He was able to take all the conversion techniques for websites, get Claude to do something, and then download it and deploy it. So it is a momentous occasion. I hope it helps them get more business.
They download and deploy. What are you talking about right now?
I'll say it again. So my cousin, who's a photographer, talented gentleman, had an old, ugly, outdated website.
Okay.
And he was trying to get more conversions from his website.
Okay.
So he went to Claude and said, hey, utilizing all the, best practices in photography, converting websites, or converting photography websites, make me a website. And it did. And so from there, he was able to, download it for his own, possession, and then deploy it with
other people's content.
What do you mean other people's content?
You said you wanted to get all the imagery from the high converting.
No. Best practices, brother. Best practices.
Conversion methods, you mean?
I said best practices. If you want to say conversion methods, that's fine.
I just want you to get your uses, sir.
Brother. Best practices is going to be top tier vernacular and lingo for this subject.
You're not well versed in websites at all. Just
oh my God, there's nothing you can tell me about websites. There's nothing you can tell me about websites.
Keywords and metadata.
There's nothing you can tell me about websites.
It's not going to have anything to do with vernacular. You don't know shit about websites.
What? You don't know what vernacular is.
You don't understand keywords, long tail keywords. You don't understand any of that shit.
You're just talking about talking about SEO.
I know what I'm talking about. You said vernacular. Nobody got a website will say the best vernacular from other sites. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm talking about communicating.
You're smart enough to know what you don't know.
There's nothing you can tell me about websites, sir. There's nothing you can tell me. Sir, there's nothing you can tell me.
Top tier vernacular.
There's nothing you can tell me.
You said top tier vernacular, bro. You said those words. Talking about websites.
Bring Omar to the front because I just watched the video. I this guy in Philadelphia punching the elementary school guard in the face. Why ain't nobody up in arms about it?
School guard got punched.
What happened again, bro?
They just showed a video on CNN of the elementary school guard getting punched in the face by some random
She was black.
She was also black.
That's what real
Why
niggas
was
do.
CNN show this? Why would CNN show this? Like, what does that help? How does that?
I don't know why.
What's the context?
Of course it does.
That's like local news level type of information.
It made it to CNN.
That's interesting. It's almost like we don't have enough back press with Gemini. Thank God.
Also, it made it to CNN. I didn't know that the WNBA was in talks to raise their salary.
They should be. They don't get paid shit.
It should be like a big bump after this negotiation. It should be a big bump in their salary.
But then again, I think they lost money. Like as a business, the WNBA lost money for like 5 to 10 years in a row.
I'm not believing them because I don't believe in women's basketball. But
so if you're not generating money and you're trying to raise your salary, yeah, that's kind of a conflict of interest, it would seem.
Ben, do you watch women's basketball?
More college than pros.
You sound a little bit far back then.
More college than pros. I watch it.
Why?
He watches for the
College one?
Yeah.
Oh, over pros. Oh, I think the basketball is better than college. I think the pros is kind of boring. I actually think they should lower the rim.
What? Lower the rim?
Yeah, so they can.
What would that do?
More dunks and more excitement.
I agree with
I think that's so exciting for a breakaway lay.
That's a fact. How do you play up?
You know how much that would cost to change the rim at
They're adjustable. What are you talking about?
No, brother. We're talking about at the local, small, elementary school level where you learn the game. All of those rims aren't adjustable across all of those parks, across all of those schools.
Oh, that's a good point. You're right. You're right. You have to find the girls. That's actually a really good point. I had never thought about that. You have to find the girls rim. That wouldn't work.
That's not true. Even in high school, they can adjust the height of the rim. Like, what are we talking about?
No, like at the parks. At the parks. You know, like the parks. That's pretty set.
Gotcha.
This nigga wanna fight. This black Panamanian wants to fight.
I don't want no smoke, bro.
To be honest with you, it's canal. Pause.
I'm not a real nigga. I told you that. I'm a black father, a black entrepreneur, but I'm not a real nigga. I don't want no smoke.
Dan, I actually completely agree with you that taking the women's rims to 9-3 would make a ton of sense. But there is more breaking news. It is confirmed that an Iranian missile did impact a Saudi oil depot near Radia. There's video of it. Also, there was impact at Qatar's Ras Laffan industrial city in North Doha. Their main natural gas and LNG site, as well as Qatar Energy. It's being reported by Qatar Energy, was impacted by a ballistic missile from Iran. And so that's why you see futures, once again, because the oil market's closed, but that's why you see WTI once again spiking.
Why are you looking at WTI?
Why am I looking at WTI?
Futures market is not closed, by the way.
I heard that and I was like, what in the world?
I'm looking at WTI. What time is it? It's 3 o'clock. I was looking at Eastern time. Yeah, I got WTI.
Closed depending on.
Are you sure that's confirmed? I'm looking for it. I don't see it anywhere.
I know you don't see it yet. You'll see
that boots on the ground again. Gotcha.
Closed depending.
No, you got his connections, bro. I don't got these connections, bro.
My understanding is only that not the futures market, that the oil market closes at, is it 1:30 or 2:30? I don't know. basically, you can go back and front on me, fuck when it closes, it doesn't matter to me. That I didn't recognize that the oil market closed at a different time than the stock market. That's what I was told.
Hours.
All right, well, who cares? Whatever. Then it's not the point of what I'm saying. The oil is rising on both WTI and Brent based on this news that is just breaking out.
Based on the ballistic missile hit the Saudi oil depot.
Based on ballistic missile hitting the Saudis and Qatar.
Qatar, got it.
Qatar.
Well, yeah, I'd definitely say we trade concrete for Negro spiritual. That's what we're doing.
Wait, Trent ran away right after sharing the breaking news.
He runs away. That's what he does.
The breaking news that we discussed, 45 minutes ago? When neoliberal told us that it's quite the queen.
Not neoliberal anymore. It's Negro spiritual, sir. Please address me correctly.
30%. Just for the sake of the room, Brent is the world's default oil price. Most of the trade is priced of Brent.
I can barely hear it. Can y'all hear him or is it just me?
Oh, sorry. Brent is world's default price, oil price. Most trade is priced of Brent. WTI is a U.S. benchmark based on crude deliveries to Texas or I don't know. Anyway, it's a U.S. one. Then there are others specific to Abu Dhabi, specific to Japan, specific to Gulf to Asia, export like Dubai, etc.
You know, when you ask him why is he focusing on WTF, I was gonna say maybe because he thinks it's a cool name to pronounce, and that's why he keeps repeating it. That's all.
That's the one that's most pertinent to us. Brent is for the rest of the market.
Yeah, except the conflict is an international conflict at this point because it's impacting the rest of the globe.
Yeah, we read, but don't you care more about your home than you care about your neighbor's home?
Well, if you knew anything about me, you'd know I'm not just in my home. I'm a global citizen. You feel me?
You get the point, though.
He can sign you. He can sign you.
Oh, you feel me, brother?
You feel me, little nigga? That's what he said.
No.
Yeah, he just said that on there.
He said, brother, he dodged the question.
On the end of that, I'm telling you.
He dodged the question. The question was, do you care about your home more than your neighbor's home? The obvious answer is yes. I care more about my home because that's where my loved ones reside. That's where all my fucking precious, what are those things called? Gifts? Possessions. There we go. Precious possessions. On and on and on. Thank you, I'm like.
He said, what are possessions? He said, what are those things called? That's right.
I'm on my third day of fasting. What about you, brother?
My third day working out, brother. Who's in better shape?
Listen, brother. I can bench press 3 plates on both sides. What about you?
What sides are the plates? Those could be
45s, brother. We're talking about 45s, brother.
Okay, brother.
Okay. And we're done.
I too can bench press 5-pound plates of 3 pounds.
I said 45.
I bet you him and I still beat your ass though.
Let's do a quick little quiz. In a street fight, what is the most important technique? Go ahead. Huh? Go ahead. What are you saying? Oh, no, technique, brother. Not outcome. That's an outcome.
That's the only technique that matters.
What's the most important technique? I'll tell you, brother.
Breaking news on the internet.
Wait, go ahead, Country. I want to hear the most important technique in the street
For
fight.
me, it's gonna be distance and the jab. I think if you had kept your distance aware, like not let everybody get close distance. No, we're talking about spacing, brother. Spacing. We're talking about the jab, brother.
We're
We're talking about spacing, brother.
You do understand punches and bunches. Like, if anybody knows how to throw a combo, that's basic shit ain't gonna work unless you got.
I'm not letting anybody get close enough to throw combos. What are you talking about?
You're not gonna be able to run fast enough, bro.
I'm talking about running, brother.
Go ahead, I'm like on you, Spiritus.
Let's go.
Yes, thank you. So I know we did talk about the rates and they weren't touched and all of that, but now the consensus is there won't be any rate touches this year, and not until mid next year, 0.25%.
Europeans are so rate hikes this year, so that's they coming to the United States.
Yeah, we're very, very nervous over here. He says it's too early to tell whether the conflict would impact inflation and unemployment. He did acknowledge the U.S. was still on relatively solid footing. But, you know, it all depends on a variety of factors. But the consensus, no rate cuts this year, it's kind of a big deal. We'll see.
Dan said that needs to be a point and a fucking half.
It's towards one possible rate cut in 2026, but the market, I have to look at the CME.
I do have a question. If they say the economy is looking pretty bad right now, look at the gloomy outcome right now, gloomy outlook right now, I should say, why wouldn't they at least cut it by a half a point?
Because inflation just rose to.
Yeah, they can't.
Can you say I can't hear the number I heard?
Inflation rose to, was it 3.5?
4, I believe.
Okay, that's really bad. They like to keep it at 2%. So what we have is stagflation, which is a worsening economy and increase in inflation. And so you would think, okay, stimulate the economy, lower the interest rates. But then you've got this looming inflation issue. What do? Right? So,
You start a Middle East war. All of this.
So kind of intuitive, but so you guys are saying lowering the interest rate increases inflation?
yeah, because when you make money cheaper, basically, more people can bid up goods, right? So
All of this data is before the war started, before the oil prices spiked. So this is just a preview.
You're liberal. You remember the BLS nominee, the MAGA guy, E.J. Antoni, who was he did his undergrad at a seminary school.
I'm not going to stay on this point. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around it.
The reason I bring it up is he was quoted today in the Financial Times. Quote, I don't think this is an economy that is going to be able to handle $100 a barrel oil. It's just not. The economy is weaker than we thought. Inflation is worse than we thought. This is the hardcore MAGA economist. Says that the economy can't handle $100 oil. Today in the Financial Times.
And analysts say that it's not a matter of if, but when it gets to 150.
I mean, it could go much higher if this rate stays closed.
So, Neil, real quick. So, if they were to cut inflation, that would incentivize spending. Incentivizing spending increases demand. Demand makes more inflation, more inflated prices. Is that
Not directly, very simplified, not necessarily all the ways, but yes.
5 p.m. If I don't hear from anyone till then, I'll just go ahead and
My lord?
The other thing is that Powell's not leaving while the lawsuit is still continuing.
Yeah, I've seen that. They didn't come stay till it's thoroughly finished.
And he's on governor, although Kevin Morse is going to be taking over, I think, in May or June. He's still on the board of governors, so he still has a say. And his term doesn't end until 2028. But he said he will not leave the central bank so long as the criminal investigation into the renovations of the Fed headquarters continued. All this is self-inflicted. It's crazy. Trump wanted the rates to go down, and he's doing everything
the Trump appointed guy that wrote the whole Mar-a-Lago Accord on tariffs and shuttling them to this network.
The worse this economy gets, the more important the central bankers, commercial bankers are gonna get. Think JP Morgan. And I think they're the reason for the issue, right?